of Philadelphia, I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
It's always so intimidating following Bruce Buffer to open a show. How do you match that energy? But good morning and happy Monday to all out there. As you can tell, at least I hope you can tell, I am not Anthony Gargano. I am Jamie Lynch in for the Cuz, who's taking some family time to do some fun summer stuff. I'll be filling in through Wednesday this week, and then I believe your captain of fun and games, Bill Matz, will be riding out most of next week and Thursday. So looking forward to that. Bill does a tremendous job. Let's start there, since Bill Matz is a natural segue to the Fly Guys. We'll talk a little bit about the Sixers week that was, the week that's upcoming, and we do have to dive into the Phillies, who took, I don't care if the Phillies are in it, out of it, whatever, taking a series from the Atlanta Braves always puts a smile on my face. So we'll get into all that, but let's start with the Flyers, because they were the soup du jour over the weekend. I was down the shore with the family Friday night, Saturday afternoon, watching a little Flyers draft show, and a little hat tip to Bill, Kelly, and Charlie. They absolutely killed the coverage this weekend. Made a Zamboner like me feel like they were welcomed into the hockey community. And I learned a lot, because I'll be the first to tell you, I didn't know jack bleep about Porter Marone or Jack Nesbitt or any of these guys who the Flyers drafted. But what I do is I punt my coverage to Bill and Kelly and Charlie and let them educate me. And by most accounts, I should say, you know, the draft grades, the results that are given out by the Charlie O'Connors of the world seem to have liked what the Flyers did. A lot of A and A- type of reports out there on their draft. Porter Marone, obviously the big piece of the draft. We will see what he does, but he's a big, skilled winger. Young, potentially NHL ready, according to a lot of scouting reports. So that will be interesting to get another young, talented, big guy in the mix. They also added a lot of size this weekend. Now, they traded 2 first-round picks to move up to number 12, and they took a Jack Nesbitt, a large man, 6'5", 186 pounds, a center out of the OHL, who apparently can't skate for bleep. But that's okay, because that was apparently some of the other knocks on some of the Flyers draft picks. They must believe that they can teach skating if the rest of the skills are there. They were not scared off by poor skating, was my takeaway from the Flyers show this weekend and reading up on it some. Then they had 4 second-round picks, and then they didn't pick again until the 5th, where they had 2 picks in the 5th. We'll go through the names later just to see if they sound like hockey players or not. But overall, it seemed like a pretty good weekend for the Fly Guys. I think the 2 names, and we'll get into this later with Charlie O'Connor, who's going to join the show at 10 a.m., Higgins and O'Brien. It feels like that Seinfeld episode where, remember the Nazi guys coming to town? What was it? With Patrick and O'Brien or something?
I forget their names.
But those are the 2 guys I think Flyers fans are going to be looking at for a long time, because those are the potential elusive 1C type of players. So we'll see if they're the ones that got away. But it seems like Porter Marone. VG, I'm just going to say the name to you, Porter Marone.
Great. Awesome. Love
Sounds
it.
like a hockey player, doesn't it?
Everybody's all in. I'm all in.
Porterhouse, steak, a ribeye. Sounds like a meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Perfect for this show.
I'm in on Porter Marone. It's a badass name.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to center.
You wanted an O'Brien or a
the Higgins.
The Higgins.
Once I just was like, of course, Boston takes Higgins.
I know.
It's like
fell right
that
into their
town.
lap.
Is it going to be? Is he going to be? I don't know. People say Porter's the dude, so let's go.
Martone, Porter Martone.
I keep wanting to say Marone.
I keep saying Marone too. Martone.
It's Joey's here. Joey Marone.
That's
That's why
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
screwing it
Saying.
up.
It's your fault,
Joey
dude.
Marone
Joey
is screwing us
Marone.
up. Martone.
That's
Porter
the issue.
Martone.
Not
Come on,
Mart-
guys.
Not Marone. Martone.
Yeah, we got a guy whose name is Steak, and we got 6'3", 6'4",
Porterhouse.
6'5", 6'1", bunch of big meat guys coming in.
Did the Flyers steal a little bit of the Phillies fan playbook and start like a fan club up in the stands? You could have like the Porterhouse.
Oh,
and you could have a bunch of like steaks.
Porterhouse be good.
A bunch of meats up there.
Pairs nice with a wine, a little red wine. Oh yeah. VG just learned that about meats and wine. They pair together.
Oh
so.
yeah, they pair together very nicely. I was having a nice Chenin Blanc on Saturday
with
night.
a steak
and a little
or a hot
rosé.
dog or
we did a seafood takeout. It was my wife's birthday, so she wanted some steamers. So
what is that? Like
clams.
Clams?
Steamers.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I love it. Are you out on seafood for the most part?
No, but
You're a
I'm not
pescatarian?
as regular. I didn't know they call them steamers.
No, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I used to go down to the
steamers.
Italian market, get a big bag of steamers. You just throw them on the grill. When they open, they're ready. You dunk them in some butter and herbs.
The butter.
Oh, butter.
I could eat.
Oh,
Like,
butter.
I could
You're
eat
like
like
Homer,
200 of those
Homer
things, man.
Simpson in the corner. Oh, butter.
Porter Martone just took us to a weird rabbit hole, but the Porterhouse up in the upper level. Let's get it
I
going.
think we got an Italiano in the second round. Carter Amico.
All right, let's go through the name test right now.
Yeah.
Porter Martone.
Sure.
Sounds like a home run.
100%.
Jack Nesbitt. I think that's on the fence. I can see
Are you
it
saying just on his name?
just on his name. Forget the no skating and the side.
Nesbitt.
Nesbitt sounds hockeyish.
Does it?
I think so.
All right.
No? You're out on the Nesbitt?
Yeah.
Isn't that a cookie company? Nesbitt.
Nabisco.
Nabisco, Nestle.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Can't you just hear like Nesbitt for the playoff win? Like it kind of sounds like a hockey name.
All right.
I don't have to force you. I don't, Carter Amico.
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's
Sound
got to
like a
be.
hockey
He's
player?
got to be Italian. Ends in a vowel. Let's go.
What do you think, Andrew?
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
Just name only.
Yeah.
Jack Murtaugh. This
Yes.
kid is
Jack
going
anything.
hockey. He's
Jack-
going into the
yeah.
Hockey Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
Murtaugh.
Murtaugh.
Wait, is that family that murdered that crazy guy who murdered someone?
The Murtaugh, right?
The
I think of Murtaugh
murder?
from
In
Lethal
Georgia?
Weapon.
Yeah, like
The
South
father?
Carolina or the dad.
Oh
Yeah.
the Fail Sons and the
Yes.
yeah.
The son like killed somebody
Buster.
on a boat or
Buster,
something?
yeah, Buster.
They killed the housemaid.
Yeah. But didn't
Yeah.
the son kill somebody on
I
a
think
boat?
those are.
Murtaugh.
It might be a different
They may be
spelling, but I
Murtaugh,
think you're
yeah.
right with Murtaugh. But the name
Oh,
Jack
Jack.
Murtaugh. alone, I saw
anything
that come
Jack.
up from on the Flyer show. I was like, this kid's a lock. That's a hockey name.
So when they shorted it, the hockey nickname Murdy. Come on, Murdy. They
Yeah, I
always add
guess-
a Y to stuff, right?
yeah, they do. Amico-y, like you can't
that's
do
good.
that.
Chat is saying it's Murtag.
Murtag.
Yeah.
Well, that changes my opinion entirely.
Murtag, like Maytag, always
Like
delivers.
Maytag,
I don't
yeah.
think this kid's gonna make it.
Yeah.
What's his name's pronounced?
Jack Murtag.
Murtag?
Yeah.
All right. My opinion just changed there. Shane Vangsai.
Yes, 100%.
Did I nail that one?
We'll see. We'll see what chat says.
Comments, let me know. Did I do it?
Is it Vansai?
Vangsai? Michigan State right winger, 6'3", 212
Hey,
pounds.
Charlie says Vasahi is fun.
Vasahi.
Yeah.
Vasahi.
Oh, Charlie also. A few players in this draft more physical or violent.
Ooh.
Love that.
Yeah, and
He was the guy with the big eyebrows, right?
See, I don't know.
Yeah, I was watching some of the videos and I couldn't keep up. There were so many draft picks. I was like, oh, another one. One of the guys had real big
Big eyebrows?
Yeah, thick.
It's
push brooms.
Vensagi.
Vensagi.
I guess that's what the chat is saying.
Does that sound like a
or
hockey player?
Vansagi.
Vansagi.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a hockey player to you?
Yes.
Yeah?
I'm in on.
Andrew?
I'm in on.
Yeah. We'll give it.
I'm big on the name
Shane
test.
Vansagi. Yeah.
Vansagi. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Matthew Guard. This kid's got no shot. Right? That doesn't sound like a hockey player.
No.
No. Now this kid's got potential. Max Westergaard.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds
Especially
hockeyish.
if it's like, is it like a Swedish or something? Vestagard?
Norwegian.
He's from Sweden. Yeah.
Vistagard?
He played left wing for Frölunda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hockey
this-
all the way.
This kid's got
Yeah,
he's got a chance.
Yes. Yeah.
5th round pick with
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of hope. This next one's a little tough.
He's a winner, this next one.
Yeah. 5th round pick, Luke Velos.
You know they're going to be like, Vluswick?
Vluswick?
Yeah, I think it's Vluswick.
Vluswick.
Yeah.
I'm
Sounds
liking
kind of
that.
He's got to
I like
make it
that.
just for
Yeah.
the Vlu.
Sounds like he's got a little dingle to his dangle. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm in on that kid. And then the 6th round pick, Nathan Quinn, a center out of Quebec.
Yeah, I think Nathan Quinn sounds
It's
like a
okay.
hockey
A good
name.
name.
Like a third line player. Nathan Quinn.
Yeah, maybe. So there's the Flyers draft for you. We'll talk more about this. And do you think Charlie O'Connor, when he does his draft analysis and recaps, do you think the name test is like
Oh, I'm sure that it's pretty high up on
pretty
his.
heavily weighted?
Yeah, I think that's probably more important than anything else when he's analyzing these picks and these players.
Yeah.
All about the
I would
names.
agree.
He probably doesn't even watch tape.
Probably not.
He probably just sees the name and says, "This is the guy."
I think Fran Duffy, when he's doing guys, said like the name test is everything. And Derek,
there's
Derek the
nothing-
same way. Like,
Yeah.
Definitely,
if you don't have a name that fits, like you're not going to make it.
Yeah,
This
of
is the
course.
important stuff. And of course, our show today and the all-important name test is brought to you by our friends over at Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook, located on Street Road right there in Ben Salem. It's easy to get to from everywhere.
So easy.
Make Bet Parks your home. So Friday night, VG, you were at the Flyers draft party.
Great draft party. Bernie Perron in the house.
Yeah, I was
with
watching
the
and
two rings.
The great Bernie Perron stopped by the set. And
Yeah.
we sometimes get spoiled by Bernie because he's everywhere and he's like, man, he's the coolest dude ever. When I saw people from the network out in Denver and Chicago being like, wow, hockey royalty on the Flyers show now. Like, how cool is this?
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, you kind of, it was one of those, like, you kind of forget that he's like one of the top 10 greatest goalies ever.
Right. Yeah.
And
he's
there
got
he
his
is,
two
just hanging
rings.
it.
He's flashing in every photo. He's got his 2 rings up.
So how was the party? It looked like a great time.
It was
at
great.
Chickies
It
in
was
South
packed,
Philly.
man. Yeah. Great crowd, enthusiastic crowd. Drinks were flowing. TV Todd was in the house.
Ooh.
Black Gritty was in the house.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Bernie was taking pictures from everyone with
Oh,
everyone.
yeah.
I saw Dan Hilferty bought the first round of drinks for everybody.
Oh, yeah. I must have missed that.
Oh, you missed the
I
free
got there
drink?
like 7:10. Yeah,
Dude, I'm such a sucker for free drinks. I was sitting down the shore and I was like, should I drive up? You think I can still grab a free drink?
Yeah.
I could be back in 2 hours.
Got to hang out with some good listeners. Eddie Wright, Randy Rubar were out
Eddie
there
Wright's the
hanging
man,
out.
nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff from the Flyers. And then Saturday, I believe Brenna, I'll have to ask her. I think they drove right down the shore after the
Yes.
event.
That's what I heard. They were
Wow.
going right to AC.
So Bill and Kelly and
Killing
Brenna, just
Killing it.
Yeah, so
There was
much
a
work. Last
pretty
week.
good raffle. They raised a lot of money. So
Nice.
it was good. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Not a
And
beach shore, by the way.
What's that?
AC, not a beach town.
I heard you and Anthony getting into this a little bit last week. It's a tough one.
You either know or you don't know.
I
You
see,
all don't
It's not
know.
tough. It's not. It's just. That's
I've
the
never
answer.
gone to the beach in AC.
There you
I've
go.
been to AC a ton of times. I've never gone to the beach there.
Why? It's right there.
I know.
Quick walk.
I-
It's a short beach.
No real. Because usually when I'm going to AC, I'm either going to Tony's like Baltimore Grill.
Sure, the
or,
best.
What's that one? The the Oyster House, the dock something.
Mm.
Awesome seafood restaurant.
Okay.
White House. You know,
White
going
House,
to the
Irish
casinos, going
pub.
to see a concert.
Yeah.
A lot of different reasons.
You go on a bender and you
The
see
White
the, you
House.
see the sun come up on the beach.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's nothing better.
I've gambled a lot in AC.
Yeah,
I've
but
stayed at
it's not a
hotels
beach
a lot
town.
in AC. Never been to the beach in AC. So I see both sides of the argument here.
Yeah, I rarely gamble anymore in AC. I just
Really?
hang out and party.
You just
And-
go to
and
the beach?
You go to the beach in the morning or at night. Yeah, I don't sit out during the day. It's a little too crowded. Too many kids. I'm not a kid guy. Too many kids during the day at the beach.
All right, so we'll also get into this with Charlie. What did you think of the whole NFL or NHL draft format?
I thought they took forever to get to the picks.
Dude, the
man.
first round was like 6 hours.
It's
It was
like-
ridiculous.
and all the guests they had, they just took forever. Just name the pick.
Why did they have the back shot of the kid talking to the team executives?
I
It
don't-
was so awkward.
I actually don't even remember it. I think I was.
Every time they got picked, they would go in
Drinking
front of
beer.
the giant screen, and then
Oh,
there would be the
yeah,
three
yeah,
team
yeah.
executives like Jonesy, Briere, and
Yeah.
Hilferty are up there talking to Porter Martin.
You see the back.
Yeah, and you just see his back in the jersey, and it's so weird and uncomfortable.
They want you to see the name, man. The name on the jersey.
You got to speed up that first round there, Gary Bettman. I'm all for trying stuff, but come on,
I
speed
mean, it
that up.
wasn't terrible, was it? Was it 10 minutes between picks?
It was 4 hours and 45 minutes, I believe, the first round.
No, that's too long. Yeah. I left the party at 10. I think the
Yeah, they were probably on pick
I think the
14.
open bar closed at 10. I rolled at 10:02.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Nesbitt was picked, and you were like, all right, I'm out. It's getting late.
Yes. I waited till the raffles, man. I waited till like pick 22. Then I left.
Yeah. So we'll get into the format of the weekend
How
with
is
Charlie
Bettman
as well.
still commissioner? The guy's been there since like 93 or
It's like
something.
it's like 30 years.
yeah. And it's not like hockey's exploded under his reign. It's pretty much the same as it is.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of, I don't mean this with any offense to hockey people, but I think it's kind of maxed out.
I don't know. You might be offending some people.
Really? I don't want to do
You
that.
got to bring back. I grew up with. I was talking with Bill Matz. We want to bring back the electric tracker, the puck tracker.
In theory, it's really good.
Because it's got to be so much better technology now.
Well, now what they're doing in golf is when somebody hits a tee shot, they have the tracker.
Yeah.
But then they'll track it on the arc of percentage of good, bad, in trouble. Is it bunker bound? Is it water bound?
I love that.
It's pretty cool. So to your point, the technology
It's got to be so much better.
But like, you don't want to overdo it in hockey because it's so fast.
It's the problem. Yeah, but the issue they've always come with, people like Zamboners. I mean,
Yeah, it's me.
Really, first level Zamboners. There's a lot of times where the puck is not visible on the broadcast, and unless you've watched the game or if you played it, you know where to anticipate to look. If you don't know where to anticipate to look, you just don't see the puck. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah,
So
I get
I
why
think that's a
it's
problem
hard for
with
people that never played or watched in
Yeah.
person to get into it as a newcomer because of that.
Yeah, so they got to figure out something. But
Yeah, I hear you. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to Kyle Newbeck before Charlie O'Connor at 9:40. On the other side of this ad break, we are going to tell you about the Sixers weekend that was and the free agency that's looming and how creative can the Sixers get and how do you feel about the picks and all of that. But first, let's tell you about some of our friends here at PHLY. And that would be our friends over at Cherry Hill Jeep. I drive a Jeep. I bought it long ago before I knew of Cherry Hill Jeep, or I obviously would have gone there. But if you're looking for a Jeep, and I love my Jeep, I'm a Jeep devotee. I will probably have one for the foreseeable future. And my next one's definitely coming from Cherry Hill Jeep. If you're looking for a Jeep or Ram truck, there's only one dealership in South Jersey who's been the market leader since 1967. It's our friends over at cherryhilljeep.com. And they have you covered on the best selection, but more importantly, the best prices. And they're celebrating Memorial Day savings all month long. And that's going to be wrapping up soon, so you want to get in there. But knowing them, there's probably going to be some July 4th and Labor Day specials as well. So slide into a Jeep Grand Cherokee this month. Not only is it the most awarded SUV ever, it was also named Motor Week's best midsize utility vehicle for 2 years in a row. That's in addition to being the 2024 IIHS top safety pick, or pull away in the most luxurious and functional pickup truck on the market today, the 2025 Ram 1500, which just received the most coveted award in the pickup truck industry, the 2025 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. So stop in today, tell them PHLY sent you, and receive an additional $1,000 for your trade-in. I know people buy Jeeps and Ram trucks elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Jeep or Ram truck today, just minutes from all bridges, and available online 24/7 at cherryhilljeep.com. That's a nice looking steak.
Wow,
though.
that's
now you got
the
me.
Florentian.
Now you got me hungry. Is that for the porterhouse?
Sizzling steak from Florence, Italy. Hey.
I'm hungry. Oh, was that in Florence?
Gargano, PHLY, VG. My brother, you look hot.
Dude.
I mean, I feel kind of hot too, to be honest with you.
Dude, my house is like a sauna meets a steam room. It's insane. This heat's unbearable.
Well, look, this Philly heat is no joke. It's summertime, man.
Dude, if I could tell you, I stood with my head in a freezer for 10 minutes before I left the house today. Disaster.
Brother, just turn on the AC. How come you just don't turn on your air conditioner?
Trying to save some cash, man. Save the world. Save the climate. Go green. All that stuff.
Listen, I feel you. Do yourself a favor. I got your answer.
All right.
Like, do it solid. Check out Pico's energy saving rebates. All right. They've got deals on Energy Star cooling equipment that actually work and cut your bills.
So you're telling me no more freezer head?
No, not unless you want to look like a freezer head.
No. I'm good.
All
This is
right.
great news.
I'm serious. You're good, man. Trust me. Just head to pico.com/ways to save. They got tips for everything. Heating, cooling, lighting, you name it. It's Pico. We love Pico.
I'm in.
Save, man, you want to talk about
Some good acting there.
I mean,
We were on it. Yeah.
Real swamp ass week last week.
Dude, this is not even better. The dew point's still in the 70s.
Whew. Yesterday was gross. I was supposed to cut the grass.
I went golfing yesterday,
Oh,
and I was dying.
dude, I had a 9 booked last like Wednesday or no, last Monday night when it was like 99 that day.
Yeah.
I didn't golf. I was like, I'm not doing
Dude,
it.
I can't take this dew point stuff. I know it's not the humidity anymore. They say the dew point, if it's over 70, is oppressive. Like, you just walk out in the morning. There's no
It
breeze.
hits you like a brick wall.
I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah.
Even though I'm in air conditioning, I don't feel like doing anything.
Anytime there was a water station yesterday, I literally was sitting there under the cooler, just like dunking my head because it was just so hot.
Pico, ways to save.
Yeah.
My hack this year, and after 1 month, I think there's validity to it. And this is probably a part of the ways to save program.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, if you set your temperature and don't move it, it's the most efficient way to run your system.
Yeah.
And that's not how I operated in the past. I would go lower and higher depending on like if I was cold or hot, obviously, which is a natural thing to do.
Right.
But if you just find that temperature and stick to it, apparently it's the most efficient way to run your system.
All right. Even if you're a little chilly, you
Yeah,
just leave
just
it that
tough
way?
it out. Get a blanket.
What's your set temp?
Right now,
For the people.
it's set. My preferred temp would be 69. Nice. At the house, we settled on 70 because the upstairs gets a little hotter than the downstairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just rocking 70 straight across the board
There you
all
go.
times of the day. When we went away last week, I did set it up to 75 because I can control it from the phone.
Yeah.
But 70.
You have the Nest?
The Nest.
Something like it. It's like a Honeywell something. or
Yeah.
other.
Those are nice.
Those are pretty sweet because I got in the car yesterday leaving the shore and I was
dude,
like,
it's
let's
the
get that
best.
house cooled
Yeah,
down a
it's
little
the
bit.
best.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I think I have a Nest. I don't know which one, but
Yeah,
there's like a
it's all the
learning
same.
period as the seasons change. So for 2 weeks, it'll figure out what you're doing and then just take over
Yeah.
and make it energy efficient.
But our first bill came of like AC season, and I was like, "Whoa, I think this actually works."
yeah,
So-
mine dramatically changed once I got a smart thermometer.
And just keeping it at one temp
Yeah.
because then your system's not constantly turning
Yeah.
on or off, and blah blah blah. All right, anyway, there was our ways to save. Thanks to Pico for sponsoring the program. All right, coming up, we are going to talk to Kyle Newbeck at 9:40. Now, he said he is not a morning person. I gave him the option.
I've heard that.
I
Yes,
gave him the
I've heard
option
that.
of 9:30 and 9:40. I
Oh,
said,
big-
whatever. 10
Wow,
minutes.
you're really
Yeah.
doing them a solid there.
Yeah. Well, look, we got a show to do. We got segments, we got breaks, we got bills to pay.
These writers hate the mornings.
And he goes, I'll take 9:40 as a non-morning person.
Yeah.
Now, my first thought was, does 10 minutes really do anything for you, Kyle?
Yes.
It's another sip of coffee. That's really all it is.
Another snooze cycle.
I don't think 10 minutes does anything.
No?
No.
You're surprised he went 9:40 or 9:30?
No, I'm not
Oh.
surprised, but like my thinking was like, dude, 10 minutes. Like, does that mean he's waking up at 9:37?
Probably.
That's wild.
Probably.
Yeah?
Yeah. Throw a hat on. get in
I've
front
worked
of the
morning hours for a long time.
No, but he's in a cycle where he's up till
Is he
2
video
o'clock.
gaming until 2 or 3?
Well, he's just because he goes to games and he writes
True.
articles
He's
after
a big
the show.
gamer.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess that makes sense. So
Oh.
Kyle's going to join us at 9:40.
He does look like he has a gamer chair now that you
Yeah, he's
say
a
it.
gamer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a big gamer.
He's probably as big a gamer as I am.
Do gamers recognize other gamers?
Oh, dude, we can
is there
sniff each
tells?
other out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's
He's
tells.
like, oh, I know.
Besides like talking gaming, you
Besides,
can tell.
Oh,
you can
yeah,
tell by
yeah.
the chair.
The chair.
Solid
yeah. The way
gamer
you
chair.
sit in a chair. If you're upright like this, you're engaged, you're ready to go, you know?
But we are going to talk Sixers, and VJ Edgecombe obviously is the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
No disagreements there. I think that's the right play.
Oh, I loved it.
Ace Bailey, like he could be great. He also could be a total pain in the ass headache.
Yes. Could be.
Well, I mean, I did see something cool from him this weekend when he did actually arrive in
He
Utah.
finally
on
showed
Sunday.
up.
He showed up with his bag, like his luggage, and he took it right to the court and started working out. And like his suitcase was sitting under the basket. I was like, this kid likes the ball,
Sure.
but too risky of a pick at number 3.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I love it.
if the Sixers were at 5 or 6, I think it's a no-brainer. Like you take them.
I don't know.
No,
I don't like the Rutgers. I don't like what happened at Rutgers. this
I
year.
hear you. You got PTSD from Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons.
I do.
Loser college programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it. It's fair.
That's why I got vilified on the show routinely for having Edgecombe number 2 overall. But yeah.
I had him over Harper, huh?
Yeah. There's something going on at Rutgers.
Edgecomb's going to be fun. This kid seems awesome, as Rich said in his morning newsletter. And by the way, you should all be subscribed to Rich's morning newsletter because it is absolutely tremendous. And if you miss a weekend or a night of sports, it catches you right up. It's free. Don't cost you nothing. So head to allphly.com and sign up for the daily newsletter from Rich. It's awesome.
He does a great job.
He does. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the best.
You want to show up at work and act like you know what happened this weekend or night before, just read his newsletter.
It's like so detailed. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But as he pointed out, this is a kid with a high floor and a high ceiling, and everything off the court is exactly what you want. He's kind of that culture guy. Nothing to worry about. Loves ball. Loves working out. Like, he said all the right things in the press conference. And when you win a press conference, as we know, VG, it's like a sure thing that you're going to be a great player.
It's everything. Yeah. It goes back to even, Sirianni came in and just dominated that early on press conference. Look at him. He's
I had a bleeding heart for Sirianni when he did that. I was one of the few people. I was on radio at the time, and I was like, can everybody just cut this guy a break? Zoom calls suck. Because during COVID.
Zoom, everything sucks.
Dude, it's the worst. And now that I'm in management, I'm constantly in like Google Meets and Zooms, and they're just terrible.
It's hard not to talk over the lag and everything.
Yeah, there's always something off. But like during early COVID, since people weren't seeing each other, me and my college buddies started a Friday night like hang, and we would play like sports trivia, we would gamble, we would just drink and hang out, and it sucked. After like 2 or 3 months, I was just like, I can't do this anymore, guys. 2 or 3 months,
right?
Yeah, like it's just. So when Sirianni's doing his introductory press conference on Zoom and he's getting, questions from, I was like, that's a tough situation to thrive in. So it worked out pretty well for him, though, I'd say. So VJ won the press conference.
His whole family showed up in Sixers gear.
In 70. All right. And this is where I'm going. VJ Edgecombe is going to wear number 77.
Yeah, why is this an issue with people?
It's Mekhi Becton's number. I'm okay with it, I think, but it looks weird.
Why? I don't think it looks
77
that bad.
from a guard?
That's weird.
I think it's a little weird. Man, that's a big guy number.
77 is not a
Sevens are lucky.
number.
77's double luck.
Sevens are lucky?
Yeah, don't you gamble? Slots and stuff. Lucky sevens. There's like
in numerology, sevens.
400 slot machines called Lucky Sevens. Lucky Sevens Wild. Lucky Sevens this.
But like 77 on a basketball jersey just doesn't look right. It's just
it
not.
It looked fine when he was working out. It looked good, I thought.
I'm okay with it. I'm willing to give it a chance, but my gut is like
62 is better. Like what
I would do
Jason Kelsey.
Come on.
It's
not a basketball number.
It's got to be in the 20s.
I feel like the 10s, the 20s, maybe the 30s for basketball. Single digits.
So 37's better than 70. So yeah, you're a lunatic. 77. He's a 77 on the 76 is perfect. There's a lot of heat. I was like, what is he getting all this heat from?
I'm okay with it. I'll give it a chance, but it just feels a little
like
weird.
You're okay with it? Yeah, everyone's all weirded out by it.
I think at some point franchises have to stop retiring numbers.
What is that? Why he took 77?
No, but there's just like, all right. So the Sixers have 3 off the board. They have 4 off the board. They have 6 off the board. They have 10 off the board. Those are prime basketball numbers.
Now
and they're missing almost 50%.
The bigger issue I have is my main man, Janai Broom, wearing little Andrew Toney, my favorite Sixer of all time jersey, number 22.
Is that his number at Auburn?
No.
Oh, he switched it up.
Had to, because 4's taken.
See?
So he went 2 plus 2 is 4, so he went 22.
That's pretty good. 13's gone.
But 22 doesn't feel like a big man,
gone.
a tough big man.
24's gone. Like that's 32. Like these are prime basketball
When you're
numbers.
The 3rd winningest franchise in all of the NBA, you're going to have some retired numbers.
Running out of numbers over there. We got a 77 and a 22.
You're saying there's like
that's 99.
8 out of 99 numbers are retired.
They have more than that.
All right, 10 out of 99. It's
okay,
like
that's 10%.
10%. We can make do with 10%.
But those were the good basketball numbers.
Make the other numbers.
So they
good
benefit
numbers.
from being old.
Yeah,
now all these youths.
24 is a great
these
number.
Gen Z's got to settle for 77s and 22s.
77 is a sweet number.
What's Luka? He's like 70 something, isn't he?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he is a 70.
Oh
number.
whoa! Now 70s are cool.
It's the only other. No, I didn't say it was cool.
I didn't say it was cool.
Andrew's like, oh wait, he is a 70.
He's 70 something.
He's 77.
He's 77.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a great number.
So it's Luka Valor.
Great number.
Yeah. Speaking of Luka and the Lakers, these rumors now that LeBron James wants out or he's going to get traded.
I have that on the sheet for later.
Okay.
Rich Paul made some weird comments.
Is it LeBron drama?
I don't think so. I think people are making a little too much of it, but it is kind of strange.
I think he wants out of the West. I think LeBron wants
He's going
out.
to go back to Cleveland, right?
He wants to win. He could go back to Cleveland, but then you got to get money to match. $52.5 million option. Of course, he's picking that up.
Yeah.
It's like Andre Drummond picked up his option. It's like, yeah, no kidding.
It's a little lame to pick up the option and then ask for a trade.
Agreed.
Right?
But he's LeBron.
I know.
He'll do whatever he wants.
That's half the problem of the league. Players and the agents run it.
Oh, did you see the video of Rich Paul talking?
Yeah,
to,
it's coming up. Of course.
I always screw this name up. Ishiba, right?
Oh,
Matt
the owner?
Ishiba?
Nah, I don't know. I just call him the owner of the Suns.
Ishiba. Sounds like a dog.
Shiba?
Shiba Niba? Shiba Nuba? Is that dog?
Yeah,
it's
Shiba
like-
Shiba
it's the-
Inu.
yeah,
Oh, Shiba Inu.
Shiba
yeah, yeah.
Inu, yeah.
Shiba Inu. Yeah, they're like the little
The
miniature,
little fluffy
Japanese
Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Mike Miss have one?
Yeah, Mike
yeah.
Miss has one of those. They look like dogs that would just crap everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't love the
Don't
smaller
they?
dogs.
Yeah.
I like a larger dog myself.
So we're on a list because I'm a large dog man.
Mhm.
As you knew, Bootsy. She was a big, like 75-pound
Yeah.
pit boxer, something mutt, West Philly love child.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a list, and Skylar, our oldest, gets a little bugged out by the bigger dogs.
Sure.
So we have to go
Yeah.
like mid-size SUV.
Yeah. So you got a dog's coming?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
We're on 2 lists. We're waiting to because when the older I've gotten, the more hypoallergenic
Yeah.
I've needed. So we're on a list. Whatever timing works out.
Get
It
a
could be
hypo dog?
Yeah, it could be. We didn't want to get it in summer because that's not fair to the dog if we're going to be on vacations and away. So either start of the school year or Christmas time.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
Do you have a breed in mind?
yeah. It's something doodle.
The golden doodle?
No, I forget. My wife handles everything.
Yeah.
Something doodle.
Yeah.
It's a something doodle.
It's a doodle.
Curly hair.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even know. Oh, LeBron.
You want LeBron
and
here?
then Doodles.
You want LeBron here?
All right, let's get into it. What do you got?
He's like, why would he come here?
He's not coming
You're
here.
like the third worst
It
team
makes
in
no
basketball.
sense. But I think Cleveland, so the comments basically were like, now LeBron is from Rich Paul. LeBron has opted into his contract. He's very thankful for the Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka relationship and considers the Lakers a large part of, or an important part of his career and legacy. He knows that they're building towards the future, basically like ... You think he's moved?
Yeah. He doesn't want to be there, dude.
I don't know. Moving sucks.
Moving does suck, but Houston maybe? I mean, where would he go?
Well, he wants out of the West.
Totally out of the West?
I believe so.
Why? What gives you that impression?
It's easier to
so-
get
it's
there.
so
The East is
stacked.
wide open.
It's so stacked. The East is wide open, so he wants to go somewhere where he can ring chase.
If he goes to Boston, then lose it.
No, they can't. They're
Well,
so
they can't next year because they're out of it
financially
next year anyway.
strapped. Yeah, and they already sold Drew
Yeah.
and Tatum's out. I think
Yeah,
Boston's
yeah.
out.
They're
Milwaukee,
Indiana?
Milwaukee's
Indiana.
out.
Milwaukee's out. They're cashed out, and Dame Lillard's
Yeah.
done. Indiana, but Halliburton's out,
Halliburton, yeah. Maybe he does
so
come
they
here.
don't have it. They don't have the Knicks.
Trade Joel.
I could see him want to go to the Knicks, New York City.
I could see that, but the Knicks are probably the favorite right now, right? To win
I
the
would
East next
assume
year,
so, yeah.
because Boston, Indiana, and Milwaukee all took massive blows.
I was just looking 1 hour ago. They're saying trade to the Mavs has some buzz. LeBron
Oh.
James to the Mavs.
Okay.
But no state income tax in Texas.
Yeah.
It's also a new ownership group there at the Lakers, so, I mean, they have no real ties to them. So, why would they care?
I mean, conspiracy.
them.
My tinfoil hat's on, and Luka was sent to LA. Maybe LA sends back Cooper Flag and LeBron. If you got that for
Cooper Flag and LeBron. That'd be pretty
for
sweet.
Luka,
Yeah.
I mean, you're only getting a year or two max of LeBron, but
Right.
like
I mean,
That would
there's
be,
worse. So you get AD,
be a ridiculous trade.
Cooper Flag, LeBron, and wasn't there another player with AD as part of that original trade? So you would basically get like 4 players for giving up on a guy you thought was fat.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not bad if tinfoil hat's on.
That would be wild.
Now, apparently, and since we're down this Lakers rabbit hole, Luka's pissed. He's pissed that he was slandered all offseason by the Mavericks.
all right.
He's apparently working with a
Well,
nutritionist
good, yeah.
and working his ass into the best shape of
Good
his
for
life.
him.
Kick him in
Yeah.
the ass a little, get his butt in gear.
Sometimes you need that,
But I don't want him to lose the Pilsners and cigarettes. I think that's part of what makes him special.
Oh, yeah? You're a fan of that?
Yeah. Like, I think, eat healthy, work out hard, but still rip those cigs and drink some pilsners.
He is like an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like he's able to do all of that stuff and then still be as good as he is.
It's
crazy.
part of his European DNA.
And he's like a top 500 player in Overwatch as well, which is like insane.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so he's a big...
Which one's Overwatch?
Overwatch is like, it's a game by Blizzard. It's like kind of like a...
Shooting game?
Third-person shooter game.
Okay.
Or first-person shooter game. But like you have to sink a lot of time in order to be that good.
And he's top
top like 500 in the world.
Oh, top 500.
Yeah.
Which is like top 2%.
Good.
He's got to be putting in like 100 hours a week. Just be playing.
Oh, so are you starting the Kyler Murray conspiracy theory that he's more dedicated to video games than ball?
Ripping cigs and playing games.
Dude, I can just see him with a fat ashtray right in front of him. Just ripping cigs, playing Overwatch.
Yeah, all that people on Discord. Yeah.
He'd be fun to hang out with.
So it'd be Kyrie, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and LeBron.
Now, they'd have to give up something to make the money work in that trade.
Yeah, they're not giving up Kyrie.
No, Kyrie just signed an extension.
Yeah, have to get a third.
That would be
probably
nasty, though, if they could figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
What happens to Bronny? If LeBron leaves, what happens to Bronny? Does he go? Is he in the trade package?
He got what he wanted. They played together.
Yeah, they got to cut his ass, right?
I would hope.
You got your 1 year, LeBron.
Yeah, they played together. They did their thing.
Yeah, you got your pictures. You got your moments.
Go play in Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
with
go play with
cousins.
Khalil and others in Puerto Rico. All right, let's take another quick pause, and we'll continue this NBA discussion on the other side. And congratulations on getting your boy Broom.
Oh yeah,
I know you
big fan.
Did you see his vert at the NBA Combine?
Yeah, dude.
It's like 3 inches.
Nothing makes sense about him. He just balls.
That's why I kind of
He just balls.
That's why I'm kind of in. I saw his vert and I was like, that is atrocious.
Hideous shot. Everything about him doesn't make sense, but he's a baller, man. He played on what was the best team in college basketball for a big part of the season.
Yeah, he did. All right, so we're going to take a quick pause, and on the other side, Kyle Newbeck is going to join us. And let me tell you about our friends at Rothman, because let's talk about getting you back to what you love this summer. Whether you're biking by the Schuylkill, I saw Andrew this weekend getting back, getting healthy. Chasing your kids through the sprinkler, I was at the beach building sandcastles. My dribble castle game is on point.
What's a dribble castle?
It's when you pick up the wet sand and you dribble like towers.
Oh.
You drop the sand, little drops.
Yeah.
You've never done that?
No.
What?
Mm.
Never dribble castle?
You've never dribble castled?
Oh, man.
I've never even built a castle in the sand.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
No wonder.
Yeah,
That answers a lot of questions for me.
Yeah, my dribble castle game was strong, but I was running all over the beach, feeling my best. Whether you're tackling that hiking trail, it's tough when your body just doesn't want to cooperate. That's where Rothman Orthopedics comes in. From aches and pains after a pickup game to old injuries flaring up based on summer adventures, Rothman's team of experts is here to help. With evidence-based care and a commitment to restoring your mobility, they'll get you back out there stronger than ever. Don't let pain put your summer on pause. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY to book your appointment today and get back to doing what you love pain-free. Rothman Orthopedics, getting you back to your summer game is their mission.
Talk about some Bet Parks Sportsbook. All right. Phillies baseball's back. We got the Padres in town. Wheelers on the mound tonight. Phillies, a healthy favorite tonight, -230. You can grab that Bet Parks combo. Phillies, I'd go the under. Philadelphia Phillies and under 9 +148. That's what I like tonight, I think. So you can bet game combos. You can do unders, overs, player props, pitchers props, strikeouts, hits, anything you want. They got some soccer. What do we got going on today? We got the World Cup Club.
Yes, we do.
Inter Milan is playing tonight. Or today, 3 o'clock.
Yes. Inter Milan is playing. Man City's playing.
Inter Milan's -148.
Fluminense.
Man City's a healthy -420.
Al Hilal.
So whether you're betting your favorite teams, your favorite players, they got everything you want at Bet Parks. There's always another way to win on the Bet Parks Sports Booking and online casino app. And you can check out some brand new casino games. They got the Huff and More Puff going on. My favorite, Betty the Yeti. You do Baccarat. It's easy. If there's a boring game going on, or if you're just bored, Baccarat is like $1. You can do $1 a hand. Easy, fun. It's the only app I ever use, BetParks, and recommend to bet on sports and to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Like I said, you can play blackjack, the live dealer roulette, blackjack, all that stuff. Craps is really fun. And you can stream shows of your favorite streaming shows like Walking Dead, Squid Games. They got casinos and jackpots for all those. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparks.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino right at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParks. You love to play, you love to win, you BetParks. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, this is the Anthony Gargano Show. Without Anthony Gargano, I'm Jamie Lynch. He's Violations Greg. Let's get to our next guest, as I know he woke up early for this, as he is a night owl. Let's bring him in. He does a great job covering the Sixers here at allphly.com. You can catch him on the Sixers show every day at 3 o'clock in the offseason. Mr. Kyle Newbeck.
What up, fellas? I got to warn you, I don't know what is going on with my camera over here, but it has been super glitchy while I'm sitting in this Zoom chat. So if you see me turning into a character from The Matrix, I don't know exactly what is going on there.
Even his camera hates the early morning hours. Like, what are we doing so early? Not even warmed up yet.
We were talking about your night owl / morning, non-morning person habits. Now, are you naturally not a morning person, or is it late night habits, the cycle of the NBA season that kind of keeps you up late and you sleep in? Which is it?
Well, I was definitely. Oh, here comes the video glitching. This will be fun for our viewers at home.
Let's get a thumbs
I don't
up
know
in the
what
chat here
is
for Kyle's camera.
It looks like I'm being hacked by like some evil villain.
Anonymous, Mr. Robot's
anonymous.
after you.
This will be a fun one afterward. It's more so like I was already skewing on the night owl end of things, and then once you really get into this business and this career, you're just at the arena every night until probably midnight at a minimum. So like then you go home and it's like I'm not going to sleep right when I get home. I got work to do. I got snacks to eat. So you just end up more on the later side of things, much to the chagrin of my loved ones who will be on like vacations and stuff. And I'm like, hey, my body clock is my body clock. What in the world?
This is wild. I'm actually kind of enjoying it.
This is sweet. So what's an ideal post-game late night snack for you?
That's what I was just going to ask. What's the best post-midnight snack in the Neubeck house?
It depends on the night. I would say I love a Snyder's buffalo pretzel piece.
Ooh,
so a bag of those.
Solid. Yeah, those are good.
Nice beverage.
I'm a big cereal late night guy.
Definitely got to brush your teeth afterward, though. Those things are leave a little residue.
Yeah.
Or you'll be a Dudette Dental in no time.
You got the MSG all over your teeth.
All right, Kyle. So recapping the draft, and then we'll look ahead a little bit to free agency that's looming a mere 5 or 6 days away. We were talking about it earlier. Number 77 for a guard. Feels a little weird. Now, Luka has kind of opened those floodgates. What are your thoughts on number 77 for Mr. VJ Edgecombe?
My thoughts are that I hope Kyle Lowry doesn't come back specifically so they can just give him a normal number. I don't know. I'm really delivering this news to you, by the way, through like space and time, apparently.
It's now gotten so out of control. Maybe we try this again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I tried to do some things while I was waiting to get on, so I don't know. We might just have to roll with it. 77 is an offensive guard number in football. So I'm good on a shooting guard wearing 77. Does it actually matter? No. And this is more of Devon Givens' territory. He's Mr. Numbers. Like he could tell you every single person who's ever worn a number for the Sixers. But ultimately, it's not going to determine his success or failure. So we'll have to wait and see.
No, but winning a press conference certainly will. You were there at the press conferences. The Edgecombe family is all in. VJ just seems like an awesome kid. What were your takeaways from the press conferences?
I just think they have gone, I don't want to say all in on culture guys, but I will say that I think both of their picks fit a certain mold, right? Like Broom and Edgecombe are wildly different players. But I do think that both of them have reputations as like grind it out, do what it takes to win type of guys, like just very competitive, very vocal leaders. And as you sort of look at the landscape here, you say it might be it's not over for the Joel Embiid era yet, but they're at least starting to, plant some. I'm sorry, this video thing is just killing me. It's crazy. They're trying to at least like look into the future where Joel Embiid is not here, right? Or even in the immediate future during the season where they can't be so reliant on him. And that requires not just guys with different skill sets to round out the roster. It requires guys who are going to help build the program up, right? Like, so that every night there's an expectation, like, hey, this is what it means to be a Philadelphia 76er. So you add a guy like Edgecombe, you add, to a lesser extent, you add a guy like Broom, you already had Maxey, you already had McCain. Like, you're starting to really build something in that building. So I think that speaks as loudly to me as anything. But also, I think they're very encouraged by guys like Justin Edwards and Dem Bona. Like they feel good about the young blood that's in this building, and now it's just a matter of building them up and getting to the matrix times that I'm apparently living in.
All right, I want to play a little over-under on VJ Edgecombe's rookie year numbers with you. I set a couple of lines here in my dumb brain. Over under 18 and a half minutes per game.
Over.
Okay.
Because look, number one, I think the thing that maybe people are not wrapping their minds around is that as good as Jared McCain's rookie year was,
sure,
he's just a lower priority developmental guy for the organization based on the fact that VJ was taken with a top 3 pick and like is going to get a lot of chances, right? And I think the way they've talked about it is not that they're diminishing Jared McCain, but they've definitely centered Tyrese Maxey when conversations have come up about, oh, what are you guys doing this summer? How are you building out the roster? And like, I know a lot of people were like, wow, those 20 plus games of Jared McCain were great, but it's a little too early to look at him as a core guy. So that's the main, like, I think VJ is coming in day one and is viewed as, we're developing this guy to be a core guy. And I think he'll get a lot of opportunity.
Plus, when you play defense like he does, I mean, minutes,
right?
You find minutes for the players like that.
Real quick,
it's easier to just stick him on the floor with any one of these guys is the easy thing.
Do you think there's any scenario, not that could Jared McCain be moved? Is he at like a peak trade value,
I mean,
or
like,
do you think his ceiling is much higher still?
Look, if there was some kind of crazy opportunity out there, maybe. But I tend to think that they want to get all these guys in and have a look at all of them together, look at the combinations between Maxey, McCain, Grimes, Edgecombe. Oh, boy. I think my video feed is just gone entirely.
Yeah, we still hear you, though. So we'll rock with this still freeze frame of you here.
This is maybe the worst tech experience of my life here, and I pride myself on.
I love watching other people suffer.
The last time we booked him before 10 a.m.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Listen, this has nothing to do with the time. This is my computer just decided it had no interest in working.
So based
today.
on your minutes prediction there, I originally had 8.5 points set as the over/under for VJ. I'm going to bump that up to 10.5 points per game over/under for the year.
I will take the over in part because I'm just banking on the main stars, air quotes, being hurt at multiple times this year. I really like this. I'm gonna have to. The worst part about this is now I have to spend time that I wanted to be writing today on figuring out what the hell happened to my camera or my computer or whatever the hell.
Just unplug it for a couple hours and check back. It'll be fine, I guess.
Listen. So yeah, I think the opportunity will be there on these off nights, right? Or like the load management nights, injury nights, whatever. And I just think he will create points through just getting out in transition. He'll get some easy ones. And he will be more of an opportunist than a featured player would be my guess. But I'll take the over on that.
Over under 2.5 assists per game.
So that one's tougher, right? So he averaged like
3.5 in college. Yeah.
Yeah. And I sort of think he's going to play a good amount of point guard for this team this year, which is not really the consensus opinion publicly right now. I'll go over on that too. I'm just hammering all the over. So
and then final one for you from deep, 3-point line, 35.5%. Over or under?
Because there has to be some form of existential doom and gloom, I'm going to say under, but long term, I am a better on VJ being a shooter. So,
what do you believe is his long term projection in terms of the deep ball?
I think high 30s. I don't think he'll ever be like a 40+% guy. I think the important thing and something we saw at Baylor was the variety in the types of shots he was taking was getting better and improving over the course of that season. Like he was just taking more shots off screens, more shots off movements in the second half of that year, especially they got into Big 12 play and he just was I think he averaged 15 for the season per game and I think he scored 17 a game in the Big 12. So that typically is the reverse, right? Like you start the year against Albaline Christian or whoever the hell you play in the non-conference and it scales down a little bit over time. He rose to the occasion and he added stuff to his game. So while the percentages might not be there early, I think they'll be able to use him in different ways, and that's probably more important.
Yeah, I think with he's a decent free throw shooter too. I think he's like a couple words of like 79%. So usually you can stroke it like that. I think his three will develop. He's really good right now at the catch and shoot. It seemed like from watching tape. It's just off the dribble stuff he struggles with from deep.
Yeah, and that's really the big question for, what is his ceiling, right? If he never takes off the dribble threes or doesn't take them that often, there's only so high you can go as an NBA player without that shot in today's league. But I think he does so many things well and it has such a reputation as a worker that you can't bet against him on that. But I do think, to your point, it's going to be more standstill, catch and shoot, and maybe some stuff off of screens, which is great. Like as an off guard who can attack you off the dribble and do all that, if he never becomes a pull-up shooter, he can still be a very, very good player.
Now, Johnny Broom, you talked about earlier, the culture guy, kind of like that grind it out and just like outwork you. That's the reason I'm in on this pick. I'm more in Devon's camp where I watched his vertical at the NBA Combine and puked a little bit. The athleticism doesn't really seem to be there. Is he just going to be that junkyard dog kind of 10, 12 minutes a game type of guy? How do you see his role with the team kind of playing out here?
So I think we're going to find out somewhat during Summer League, right? Because on paper, I just don't see how you can play him as a forward. He hasn't shot the ball well at all in college. Now, there are some people who have pointed to he's been willing to take more of them the last couple of years. He had some big games, I think against, who is it, Michigan State in the tournament. He had a game where he had a few threes and stepping confidently into those. But I think teams will treat that as a dare shot. And I think given he's been a bad free throw shooter for most of his college career, I don't see a lot of indicators that like this guy's going to shoot well enough to play forward. So I think what you're hoping for is just you take it at face value, right? He was an elite rebounder and dirty work player in college. And you just hope that stuff translates, right? Because he did all that without being an elite athlete, without having elite, wingspan or measurables or any of that. A lot of it is technique, skill, and determination, right? So I think that can continue. I think that Daryl Morey, I think the philosophy on this pick, now we haven't heard from him since this pick. I think the philosophy is very simple. This guy, from the second he was on a college floor until the second he was done, put up numbers and was productive, right? So you're just hoping that that's the case in the NBA. Whether that's in 10 minutes, whether that's in 15, I don't know. But it's a bet on a kid who played at a high level for a really good program.
Now, you mentioned the Summer League. I've seen some speculation about what the roster could look like. Who do we expect of the bigger names to see playing in Utah and Vegas this summer?
Well, VJ for sure. I would expect we'll probably see some Justin Edwards. We'll probably see some Adem Bona. Broom we'll definitely see. I think McCain is the interesting one, right? I've heard that it hasn't been ruled out, but I would lean towards skeptical. One, because he's right around the return date from his injury. And I don't know that you want to throw a guy for his first minutes into summer league where
Probably not.
these are guys literally fighting for their
jobs,
careers. And so they're playing like in a good way, they're playing like maniacs, but that's not exactly the first place you want to throw a guy coming off a meniscus injury recovery. So if he gets cleared by doctors, my guess is Jared would want to play, would want to be out there because it's like, look, if he can play basketball, he's in. But I think they'll err on the side of caution. And if we see him, it might be for like a game or two, and then they'll get him out of there.
There's a report this weekend of Quentin Grimes asking for $25 million a year. Obviously, it's a starting point in negotiations, but what do you think a realistic number for him is?
Somewhere in the 15 to 20 range would be my guess. I know people have been, they heard before the season, like, oh, they were trying to get him on 10 million in Dallas or maybe 3 for 27, something like that. Well, that was never going to happen. I think here's the thing, guys. Is Quentin Grimes worth 20 million a year or whatever? Probably not. But NBA salaries have also gone up a ton. I think people have to always readjust like what is 20 million relative to the salary cap. And the other most important thing here, they need to be able to make trades, and they don't really have a mechanism to do so unless they have one of these mid-tier deals, right? Like I think the mid-level exception, and I'll have to turn to the calculator, Derek Bonner, on this. I think the non-taxpayer mid-level is something like 12 to 13 million right now. So if you say we're going to tack on a few extra million, yeah. So like when you start there, that's like a normal-ish role, like a good role player, right? And Quentin Grimes is 24, 25. He's young. He showed that he's got more to his game than maybe we expected last year. You say, all right, if this guy's making 17, 18 million, that probably feels right in line with what the market is. And even if it's a little bit inflated, I think it's a movable deal. Probably need, if you want to make a trade mid-season or even a year and a half, 2 years down the road, and you need a salary match, having his deal on the books will be pretty important to getting that accomplished.
All right, you're leading us into free agency, Kyle. Why don't you give the people your schedule? I know you have some free agency specials coming up and all that where people can follow you, Devon and Derek, all week. Is there any situation in your head where the Sixers, I know money-wise they're pretty maxed out, is there any sort of creative pipe dream scenario you see for the Sixers making any sort of moves, whether in free agency or trade?
I think this is going to be a very boring and straightforward free agency period, right? They're going to bring back Grimes unless somebody comes out of left field with a crazy offer. Yabu is more of a up in the air situation, although now that the draft is concluded and they came away with no real forward, I think the desire to get him back probably goes up a little bit. But it's going to be a margin move off season, and I think that like it's going to take a little time for this to play out, right? Like I think VJ Jared, Tyrese, and Quentin, they want to see them on the floor together, and then maybe as you get closer to the deadline, start to see exactly how big of a need they have at forward, what Justin Edwards looks like, so on and so forth. Then the roster will shake out. But as far as our schedule, we have a free agency opening bell special tonight from 5 to 7. We'll be talking through the first couple hours of free agency, and then every day otherwise 3 p.m. for the Sixers boys. And maybe by then I will have a computer that isn't committing seppuku live on stream with you guys.
Hey, real quick, Eric Gordon declined his option. Does he come back?
Oh, God, no.
I think there's a good chance he comes back. I think there's mutual interest. I think there's a little bit of the mentorship angle with Edgecombe. They believe in the shooting. I personally, I'm good on the vet mentors at this point. I think you're paying Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid the GDP of a small country. Those guys can be vet mentors to the guys who are important. Otherwise, I don't really see what the point is.
Kyle Lowry back?
Please say no.
Maybe. And again, I wouldn't bring him back, but whether they do, I'm not sure.
All right. He does a great job covering the Sixers. Mr. Kyle Newbeck, we appreciate you getting up early today. We got another insider to get to in Mr. Charlie O'Connor, but thank you, Kyle. See you at 3 o'clock today.
Hopefully his webcam doesn't crap out on stream. See you, fellas.
All right, see ya.
Thanks, Kyle.
Now, we're going to bring Charlie on here, but I have to FaceTime my wife real quick live because she locked herself out of the house and she doesn't... All right. You're on the show live with me right now. I'm walking...
What's up, Addy?
Let me see what you're seeing. I have to explain to her where the hidden key is. And I didn't know how else to do this. So, Charlie, I will be right with you, I promise. Walk down the path a little bit. The first post of the deck.
Take notes, everybody.
I'm changing the key location.
Yeah, it changes immediately.
Keep walking down. There's the first post of the deck you'll see after the concrete. I don't see. I see your face. You have to show me what you're looking at. Okay, now turn left. That over there, the first post behind that. After the concrete. So you're right. To your right. Right there. Now behind that.
I love it when couples talk and they're both frustrated.
Yeah, it's great.
Now reach your arm behind that. Did you get it? All right. All right, there we go. Thanks for
well done. Nicely done.
Yeah. She found the key. She found the key. It's been hidden there for a year and a half. Now I got to find a new spot. Jeez. All right, I've wasted enough of his time, and I apologize. Let's bring him in. Him, Kelly, and Mr. Bill Matz slaughtered the draft weekend. Mr. Charlie O'Connor.
Great job, Charlie.
Little golf clap for the Flyers crew this weekend. Tremendous job on the draft coverage. Charlie, I said earlier, you made a Zamboner like myself who doesn't know these kids from one another. You made me feel educated. You made me feel like a part of the community. It was a tremendous weekend for the three of you and Brenna and everybody here in Flyers world. So job well done.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Yeah, of course. Now, Charlie, first, before we get into some of these guys, what did you think about the new draft format? Did you like being down in Atlantic City at a team headquarters? Explain to us kind of how your weekend went. Did you like the format of the draft? Did it take too long in your mind? Did you like being in AC? Kind of walk us through all of that.
No, I hated it. And, and to be clear, this isn't a shot at the Flyers.
Sure.
The Flyers were one of the few teams that did something interesting where they took everyone to Atlantic City. Most teams just did it in their team facility. And then reporters showed up and interviewed the general manager at the podium in their normal practice facility or arena or whatever. The Flyers were unique and they went to a location, and that was cool. But it's just so much better when it's in a central location where everyone in hockey goes to that area. The presentation on television is better. The draft picks happen quicker. It's more efficient. And I listened to Corey Proman on the Athletics Hockey Show yesterday when I was driving back home from AC. And the way he described it was every other sport, major sport in North America, has what essentially functions as an industry conference. You know, with the NFL, it's the Combine. The NBA has Summer League, where everyone in the league, everyone attached, whether it's agents, whether it's executives, scouts, media, where everybody comes together in one spot. And for hockey, it was always the draft. And now hockey doesn't have that. And it's a real bummer because for me personally, I mean, I love it. You get to interact with sources. You get to meet with team executives. You get to be digging around for information. This was just boring. It was just the draft. So it seems like the momentum is moving in the direction of going back to the centralized, the good format starting next year. I really hope that's the case because this just did not feel like the draft.
Yeah, it was a little bit odd. Now, I encourage everyone to go check out the interview with Rick Tocchet that you guys had this weekend. It's up on the videos section of the PHLY homepage. I watched it over the weekend because I didn't catch that one live. I see Charlie why Rick Tocchet is called a great communicator. The way he talked with you guys, the way he explained things about your question about the coaches and who's doing what, very articulate, very clear. I walked away from the interview feeling, not that I ever felt bad about the hire, but it did feel like, oh, another ex-Flyer is coming back to coach type of thing. I kind of saw what they see in hiring him just in that 13 minutes or so he spent with you guys. What was your biggest takeaway from the Rick Tocchet sit down?
Yeah, and I told Bill and Kelly that for weeks leading up to the potential hire, because they were both much more negative on the possibility than I was, that if you, and I personally did not have a pre-existing relationship with Rick Tocchet, I'm gonna have to build that out from scratch, but I know a lot of people in the game who are friends with Tocchet, who have known him for decades and swear by him. And everybody I've talked to is that basically says that once you meet Tocchet, once you get to know him, you're going to believe he's going to be a good coach. And you saw it in that interview. He's a really good communicator. He comes off as intelligent, but also not too cerebral in the sense that he's not going to be able to connect with hockey players. The one thing you hear from people in the game, and this, I'm not going to lie, this annoys me a little bit, but it is just the reality of the situation, is that people in hockey, players specifically, but also just people in hockey in general, they just trust Tocchet more because he was a really good player. And they believe that, like, compare that to John Tortorella, who was never an NHL player. That was something you heard from alumni with the team, that they would say, well, who is Tortorella to be doing this to Sean Couturier? He never even played. Well, Rick Tocchet played, and he didn't just play. He was one of the, I wouldn't say an elite NHL player, but he's a really good NHL player, and he played the game the way hockey people love. He was physical, but he scored. He was like the platonic ideal of a rough and tumble skilled hockey player. And when he goes up to a Cam York, when he goes up to a Bobby Brink, to an Owen Tippett, and gives them advice and maybe is a little hard on them, it maybe is easier for those players to accept that criticism from a former player who was really good versus John Tortorella, who's smaller than me and never made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it means a lot when you call a Wayne Gretzky a good friend, and you played tough, you played skill, you played on the first line, you played on the third line. You did a little bit of everything in your career. I feel like that relatability translates to everybody on the roster because he's been in their skates at some point throughout his great career every time, and everybody can kind of relate to him. And if he's able to communicate on top of that, I walked away from the interview going like, okay, this totally makes sense now. I'm all in on Rick Tocchet. This is cool.
Yeah, it's just a credibility thing. And I don't necessarily think it's fair. I think that you can be a very knowledgeable hockey person and you can be a great coach without having played in the NHL. Sure. But I do believe that players specifically do feel like a coach has more credibility if he was an NHL player, and especially if he was a good one. And obviously Rick Tocchet was a really good one.
Yeah. Now, Charlie, let's get to some of the picks. It certainly feels like, I'm getting a Charlie Hurst. Oh my God! What? Oh,
you're having yourself a morning, Jamie.
I just got one right in my hamstring, Chuck. You bring it out of me. Oh, that was rough. My God. Sorry, I couldn't fight through that one. It does seem like, dude, Charlie horses are crippling.
They're so weird.
I hate them.
It does feel like Charlie, that they wanted to address the size thing a little bit, and also that they weren't scared off by a lack of skating ability. After reading some of your articles and some of the professional analysts out there this weekend, seems like there's a couple guys with great skills that struggle to skate. And the other observation is a lot of these guys are huge.
Yeah, it was a big draft class, to be sure. The one point I did make in my my day two analysis of all the picks is that, I do think size was a focus. It really was a focus throughout the entire league. A couple of the national draft analysts basically refer to this draft as the size draft. So it wasn't just the Flyers. It was every team was really pushing for big players in general. But I mentioned this in my post day two column that, size was a factor. But I think more than anything else, the common thread in this draft class for the Flyers was high compete level, because they did take two guys that were under 6 foot. but those two guys have extremely high compete. And obviously the big guys also have extremely high compete, because you can be a big guy and not have extremely high compete. You know, the Flyers fans are still, a lot of them still wince at the name James Van Riemsdyk because their perception is he was a big guy who lacked high compete. I don't totally agree with that, but that is the perception, that he just was soft. None of these guys they took are soft. None of the big guys. The big guys play big. Maybe some of them could play a little bigger, but they all play big. They're all hardworking guys. I think that more than anything was the unifying factor of the draft, especially because, and you mentioned Rick Tocchet. Tocchet wants gamers. More than anything, he wants gamers. He wants guys who will, you know, rip their heart out to win a game. That's what he wants. And I think everybody they took in this draft class fits that bill, checks that box. And I think that was really the big thing they were targeting, even more than size. And size was something they wanted. They wanted to get bigger, and they succeeded. But they also wanted guys who really, really, you know, sell out to win games and will do anything to win and are all over the ice with high motors. And I think they got that.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the Sixers and Flyers drafts in terms of like going after kind of those culture type of guys. So let's talk about timelines. Now, Porter Martin is the top pick, goes number 6. What is a realistic timeline? I've seen some reports that say he's NHL ready. What are your expectations for Porter?
It's an interesting question. So he actually played in the World Championships, which is a mostly pro tournament. This was in May. He spent brief time on a line with Travis Konecny, but this is mostly NHL players. He played for Team Canada for a few games, and he held his own. I think Porter Martin could probably play in the NHL next year. I think he's physically able to handle the NHL. Now, do they want him to play in the NHL, or do they want to give him one more year in juniors to develop? I got the sense, talking to Danny Briere after day one, that while Briere acknowledged that Martin, because of his size, because of his skill, is more NHL ready than most of the guys at the top of this draft, I got the sense Briere's preference is still to send him back for one more year to juniors. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're going to do. They gave Jet Luchenko the brief look, their first round pick from last summer. They gave him the brief look in the NHL. Perhaps they would do the same thing with Martin if he has a really good camp. If I'm the Flyers, I give Martin a chance to win a job in camp, as long as he doesn't go the college route, because if he goes the college route, then he's basically foregoing his option to try to make the team out of camp. You can't do both. But if he stays in juniors, he can go to camp. He can essentially be briefly loaned to the Flyers to try to win a job out of camp, as long as he signs his entry-level contract, which if he doesn't go to college, I assume he will. Give him every chance to make the team. And if he shows he's ready, the big thing with him is pace. The skating needs to get a bit better, but I think skating-wise, he's good enough. He just needs to play faster. Junior hockey, the guys tend to play slower because they can, especially the skill guys. They just know they're not. They have that extra second to make a play because the defensemen aren't as quick and the style of play isn't as fast. In the NHL, it's much faster. All the defensemen are extremely good skaters. Gaps close quicker in the NHL. So I think Martin would have to show that he can handle the NHL pace. He would have to, because obviously, you know, preseason is different than the regular season, but you can get an idea. And if he shows that he can do that, I would have no problem putting him on the team. But if I had to guess, I would guess that he probably goes back to juniors for one more year.
Okay. Now, the next one, they trade the 2 firsts to move up to number 12. And by a lot of accounts, Jack Nesbitt was a reach. Some didn't have him in that range. A lot of people had him, you know, in the 20s, kind of. So clearly, this is something the Flyers saw that they liked. It appears great size, 6'5", 186 pounds. He's got a great stick. I believe he said he has pretty decent vision. The big knock on him is skating. You talked about skating with Martin. How easy or difficult is that to improve upon? This is something that Jack has said he needs to get better at. He's self-aware in it. How the Flyers obviously aren't scared off by it. So to me, that tells me that they believe they can develop the skating aspect of things. If they are able to develop the skating aspect with Jack, what is his floor? What is his ceiling? How do the Flyers view him? Tell us a little bit about the kid.
Yeah, and I'll push back a little bit on him being a reach. I think he certainly wasn't a reach relative to industry consensus. I think he was going in the teens. That was where he was going to go. And the Flyers, if they wanted to get him, there was no way he was slipping to 22, which is where they were originally picking. Okay. They were going to have to move up to get him. So I don't think it was a reach industry-wise. Now, I had him 37th on my board. A lot of people in the public sphere had him lower. Not lower than me, but lower than 12. For me, it was entirely the skating. If he was an average skater, I probably would have had him around the same place that the league had him in the teens area, around centers like Cole Resney and Braden Coots, centers that I liked more than Jack Nesbitt. I like a lot of what he brings to the table. The skating is rough, and I described it in my article that a lot of times when you hear that a guy isn't a good skater, when you're talking about draft prospects, it's not that they're bad at everything. It's that they have specific weaknesses. Like you talked about Martone needing to improve his skating. Yeah, he could get better. He could get better with his first few steps. But once he gets going, he's a good skater. He moves well. His top end gear is solid. He has a good stride. And there's other things, like some guys can move real well in a straight line, but their agility isn't so good. So that's what they need to improve upon. The thing with Nesbitt when I watched him was that he needs to improve on everything. The agility needs to get better. The top end gear needs to get better. The acceleration needs to get better. Everything needs to improve. And that scares me because it's like, well, what baseline are we working with here? What the Flyers believe about Nesbitt is they think that the skating, the weakness, is almost entirely due to lack of physical development. You mentioned he's 6'5", 186. Like, that's real skinny for a guy who's 6'5". Now, for a guy who's 5'10", 186 is fine. For a guy who's 6'5", you're like, really? You're that skinny? They think that once he develops more physically in his lower body, that everything is going to get better. They were right with Tyson Forrester. Tyson Forrester was another guy who they took a couple years back in the first round, who some people thought was a reach because he was a bad skater at that stage of his development. Now, he's not a burner now. He's never going to be a fast skater, but he's at least passable NHL level. If they can get Jack Nesbitt to Tyson Forrester levels of passable NHL, I think he could be a 2C. I do. I think he has that skill. I think he could be a second line center. I just think that if the skating doesn't come around, he might just be a 4C who makes it because he's big. And that scares me because you don't want to use the 12th overall pick on a guy who's your fourth line center. It really is going to come down to the skating. And if you're a Flyers fan, you just got to hope they're right, that it's mostly a matter of physical development and him getting stronger over the next 2, 3, 4 years, rather than technical issues that are not going to improve even if he gets stronger.
Charlie, for a baseline comparison, how bad is Nesbitt worse than Tyson Forrester skating-wise when he was drafted?
I would put them around the same level, to be honest. I have to go back and rewatch some tape of Forrester to really, decide who I think was better. Nesbitt maybe a little bit better because he is bigger, so his strides are just going to eat up more space naturally. Like Forrester's 6'1", 6'2". I think he's 6'2", like 6'2" and a little bit more. Nesbitt's 6'5". So he's going to eat up more space just naturally. So maybe he's a little bit better than where Forrester was, but they're around the same level, I would say.
It sounds like it's like they got Pat Burrell on skates. I mean, when they drafted him, the first thing I saw on the one scouting report was like
Irish pub,
heavy feet. It's like, it's not what you want to hear about a skater, heavy feet.
So, Charlie, what are the ideal positions for both of the first round picks? You said ceiling kind of a 2C for Nesbitt. Porter Martin, what do you see as his kind of ideal position?
Well, he's naturally a right wing, which is interesting because the Flyers obviously are stacked with right wings. Matvei Mishkov is a left shooting right wing. Travis Konecny's a natural right wing. Then you have Forrester and Tippett are natural right wings who've been playing the left side because they have so many natural right wings. So that was interesting to me. But we did talk to Brent Flair after day 2. And Flair said he thinks Martone should be able to play the offside, which would be left wing, which they are much less deep at. And our foreign correspondent, Alex Appleyard, who does a ton of great draft work for us on the written side and on the podcast side over the last few weeks, in his deep dive breakdown of Martone before the Flyers took him, he expressed his belief that Martone's style would translate very well to playing left wing. Because then if he can play left wing, you have a really exciting possibility where you could have a line with Mishkov on the right and Martone on the left, because I do believe that Martone's ceiling, whereas I see Nesbitt's ceiling, even if he fixes his skating, he's second line center. I don't see a 1C. I don't see 1C skill in Nesbitt. In Martone, I absolutely see first line wing. Like all day, I see first line wing. I think his floor is good physical middle six wing, and his ceiling is like not just first line wing, but 90 point a year first line wing, like star level first line wing, especially given the size that he brings to the table. If it turns out he can only play the right, that could be a slight problem in terms of a fit, just because of Konechny and because of Mishkov, because I think both those guys are better on the right as well. If he can play the left, and I think there's a good chance he can, then suddenly you could have a first line with Mishkov and Martone, and then whatever center you have, whether it's Luchenko, whether it's Nesbitt, whether it's Zegras, who they traded for last week, whether it's their yet to be acquired 1C that they get in the next couple years, that is shaping up to potentially be an awesome first line. So that's exciting.
All right, Charlie, there was 4 second-round picks. It was a action-packed second round. Which of these kids between Amico, Murtaugh, Vansai, did I get that right? Vansagi and Guard. Which of those 4 excites you the most? Which has the quickest kind of timeline to the big club?
I guess it depends on what you're looking for. Like in terms of upside, I think Murtaugh probably has the highest upside. He's got really good physical tools. He's got legitimate puck skills, a good shot. His thing is hockey IQ. Can he put it all together into a package that allows him to be a top 6 winger? But that is his upside. His upside is top 6 winger. My favorite, though, of the 4 is Shane Vansagi. He is fun, man. He's a fantastic hockey name, but he is fun. He's a big, physical, high motor winger. He hits like a truck. He's always trying to hit. He's got some puck skills that I think could maybe translate into being a net front power play weapon. I see if everything breaks right for him, he could be a really good middle 6 to even second line power forward winger who is a fan favorite because of the way he plays. There's a lot of talk in the lead up to the draft about Brady Martin, about he's a guy who's going to make you tougher. He's going to make your team an imposing team because he plays with so much fire and he throws hits all the time and he's a playoff type guy. I think Vansagi is also a guy like that. It's just they got him, 43 picks after Brady Martin went 5th. Now, Martin's a better skater, to be sure, than Vansagi. Vansagi's skating does need to get better, especially the agility and the acceleration. I think his top end gear is actually okay, but he's one of those guys where his floor is bottom 6 forward who everybody loves. It's like Garnet Hathaway. Like everybody who's a fan of the Flyers thinks he's awesome. And his ceiling is like Wayne Simmons, which would be awesome. So I am a big Vansagi fan. He was one of my favorite guys in the draft, and I was pumped when they got him. I think fans are going to love him. And I do think also he may have he might be the closest proximity out of the second round picks, out of those 4 second round picks, to making the NHL. He's old for his draft year, and he's already a physically built guy. I expect him to go back to Michigan State. He was a freshman this past year. I expect him to go back next year. But I could see a world where maybe he pushes for a spot in 2026, 2027, where maybe he's only 1 year away.
Nice. And then the last, there was a pause. They had 2 5th-round picks and a 6th-rounder. Now, there's some great names in here. Max Westergaard from Sweden just sounds like a hockey player. Then you have Luke Luswick. Did I do that right, Charlie?
You did.
All right. And then the easy one, Nathan Quinn. Do we see any of these kids on the big club? Are you excited by any of them? What do you expect out of the late round picks for the Fly guys?
Yeah, I think out of the 3, Westergaard's the guy who I wouldn't even say the highest expectations for, because the fact of the matter is, picks from round 5 through round 7, they're unlikely to make it. You're taking flyers on guys. But Westergaard, and I joked on our show that I'm always going to, and I almost did it right there. I am going to call him Westerberg so much just because of Paul Westerberg from The Replacements. Like that's just the way my brain thinks. But anyway, Westergaard, I think he's a guy who shouldn't have slipped to round 5. I talked about how this was the size draft, and a lot of teams drafted for size because he's under 6 foot. I think he probably slipped further than he should have. He's the kind of late round pick that I like. He's a high motor guy. He's got skill. He produced in the under 20 Swedish league. I'm generally not a fan of drafting guys in the 5th to 6th to 7th rounds who played in Canadian juniors, because my view is everybody in hockey has watched those guys 20 times plus, and the chances that you saw something in a guy that no one else did, unlikely. He got passed over, multiple rounds. But when you're talking about the European leagues, those leagues don't get scouted as highly, and there is a chance that maybe you saw something in a guy that other teams didn't. So Westergaard, like, the production's there. I like the makeup. He's a high effort guy. He's got some skill, and he didn't play in a league that everyone scouted to death the same way they do with Canadian juniors and college hockey. So I like him as maybe a guy who, if everything breaks right, could be a good energy third liner type. So I'm a Westergaard fan.
Cool. Now, before we get to free agency, we have to go through the most important exercise of the day here, and that is what are the hockey nicknames of these guys? Now, is Martone a Martoni? What? Because they love throwing the Y on. What does Porter get called by his teammates?
I mean, Martoni would be fun, or Tony. Tony would be a good little simplification of it. Look, my general view is hockey players tend to be very unoriginal with names. Yeah. I would guess that his nickname will be Ports, which will be real boring. Okay. But Ports is my guess, is that will be the go-to for him. I guess going through
Nesby.
Nesby, yeah, I could see Nesby. Jack is boring. Nesby, I think, is probably the play for Jack Nesbitt.
Skates.
Van Soggy could be Sogs. Soggy would be cool.
I like
but
Soggy.
I could see Sogs for Shane Van Soggy. Matty maybe for Matthew Guard.
What about Carter Amico?
Carter Amico. I mean, Carts is the easy hockey nickname for him, and then for Murtag, Mertz maybe.
Jason Martinez will have a partner in crime down
maybe.
there.
Maybe Tagger. Tagger could be another option.
All right, good.
Hey, Charlie, I saw a tweet yesterday. Help out a Zamboner here like me. Said that the Flyers have 2 of Isaac Howard's teammates, so it may improve the chances of getting him. Who is Isaac Howard, and why should I care?
Well, so Isaac Howard is I wouldn't quite call him a top prospect. Now he did have a really good year in college hockey last year. He won the Hobie Baker. He's was a late first round pick a few years back for Tampa. But he has informed Tampa that he is not going to sign with them. So the assumption is that Tampa is going to trade him at some point. Now, you're right. He's a Michigan State guy. The Flyers now have Carson Dorwart, who was a Michigan State guy who they signed at the end of this season as an undrafted free agent. And now Shane Van Soggy, also a Michigan State guy. What's interesting about Howard is I thought if they were going to get him, they were probably going to trade a pick in this past draft. Now, obviously, they've used all those picks. Doesn't mean they can't trade a pick in the future. Doesn't mean they can't, wait him out. Maybe let Isaac Howard go back to school for another year and go through this whole rigmarole next year too. But it's interesting. It's interesting that Isaac Howard is available. I don't think I would necessarily consider him to be a guy who has star level potential, but he's an interesting guy, and if you can get him for cheap because he decides he wants to come play with his buddies in Van Soggy and Dorwart in Philly, hey, can't hurt.
All right, Charlie, free agency looms. We've taken up a lot of your time, so I don't want to keep you much longer. But give us a rundown of what we can expect out of you, Bill, Kelly, and Brenna and the rest of the Flyers crew this week in terms of free agency specials. And the big question, is it going to be an active, fun free agency period here for the Flyers? What stage are they in of this rebuild?
Yeah, well, we're going to be on air starting at 11 a.m. tomorrow, 11 to 1. And then after that, I'm probably going to have to run over to Voorhees and talk to Briere. He usually does an availability after day 1 of free agency. I'm not expecting them to be crazy active. I wouldn't expect them to be throwing a big contract offer at like a Nick Ehlers or Mitch Marner if he does hit free agency, although the speculation right now is that Vegas is going to trade for his rights and then sign him. But don't expect the Flyers to be throwing big money offers at the top guys. But I do expect them to do some things. I think they definitely want to get a goalie. Now, whether they get a goalie via trade or free agency, I'm not sure. But they want to upgrade there. They want to get a guy to pair with Sam Harrison, who's an upgrade over Ivan Fedotov and Alexei Kolosov. So I'm expecting them to address that position. And Danny Briere did not close the door after the Trevor Zegras trade on using free agency to get another center. They did trade away Ryan Poehling in the Trevor Zegras deal. He was their fourth line, borderline third line center. So maybe they want to look at possibly getting a guy who can fill that role and bulk up the center position in case Zegras does not stick down the middle. I think they want him to stick down the middle, but there's a chance that Tocchet, after a couple of months, could push him over to wing, and then they're back to being weak down the middle. So they could certainly look at signing more of a middle to bottom of the lineup center in free agency. Those are the two positions I'm looking at, and maybe they'll sign a depth defenseman as well to sort of take the veteran presence Eric Johnson role that he took up last year as kind of mentor to the younger defenseman.
Tomorrow's a big day, Charlie. Do we get our word on our Russian edition?
Ooh, yeah, Maxim Shabanov. They certainly could. The reports out of Russia was that he was going to make the decision on July 1. The assumption with all that chatter is that while his agency is not saying like, hey, he's made a decision, I think the chatter is that Shabanov has been telling people in his orbit that he's leaning Flyers. So, hey, maybe he changed his mind over the past week, but it seems like there's a decent enough chance they might come away with the 5'8" Russian skilled winger.
Ooh, fun stuff. Charlie, we'll be making sure we're reading you on allphly.com. If you're not a diehard already, Charlie alone is worth the price of admission. Mm-hmm. Plus, we'll be following the show at 11 o'clock, back on track tomorrow. Great weekend by you guys. I was really proud as somebody that works with you guys of the product you guys put out this weekend. It was truly, truly great stuff, Charlie. Thanks for your time this morning, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, and thanks for all the kind words, Jamie. Really appreciate it.
Of course. There he is, Charlie O'Connor. All right, VG, we have some big time breaking news here.
So, yeah.
We have to take a break to take care of business so that in 2030, we're still in existence to talk about this big thing. This is awesome. I'm pretty excited about this. Of course, this portion, pretty much the entire day, is brought to you by our friends over at Bet Parks, right there on Street Road in Ben Salem. Easy to get to from everywhere. And maybe the people at Bet Parks could actually figure out how to keep that Phillies pennant up on the wall for us. Maybe Baldini or somebody over there, Matt Alba, somebody's got a nail gun that could come up here.
He's a mason now. Masonry nails.
Would be great, yeah.
It's the bane of my existence. I'm going to have to bring in a nail gun and just staple those things up next week. But, of course, all the lovely people over at Bet Parks are presenting the show today. We're going to tell you about the big breaking news in 2030 on the other side after we tell you about some friends here at PHLY.
Let's talk about Bet Parks, the actual casino. Cool summer weekend vibes await you at Parks Casino, my casino of choice. They have it all in one place. Street Road exit off I-95 and the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Super easy to get to, especially like right from 95 from down here. It feels like it's 5 minutes off 95. You can't get easier. They got action, excitement, headline entertainment, great restaurants. Parks Casino is perfect for guys or girls night out, after work, happy hours, date nights, meet up with friends to eat, drink, and just watch a game and chill. You can check out concerts, comedy, and more at state-of-the-art Excite Center. They got a collection of award-winning restaurants like Liberty Bell Gastropub and the Beer Garden. They got the best cover bands in the 360 Lounge. I do like their cover bands. They get really good ones up there. Every weekend, this Friday, they got the Exceptions Take Stage, and Saturday night, they got some other, I think it's the band Fish Out of Water. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. ParksCasino.com for tickets to all shows. You must be 21. You got a gambling problem, always call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, when you read that one line there, I reverted right into me on the couch watching Phillies games, and I went, "This is how you win."
Oh, yeah.
On the Bet Parks screen.
Nice.
This is how you win.
All right, I like
Well,
it.
you know where else you win? That's going to Ace Hardware Home Services. Look, there's some things in the house that I am just not equipped to handle. When it comes to plumbing or electricity, I'm out. I'm calling in the pros. I can mount a TV and do some light stuff, but I know my limitations. And my limitations, I got pros right there at acehardwarehomeservices.com that I can call in when the wife isn't looking over my shoulder and judging me for failing at another home project. I've always been an Ace Hardware store devotee in my life, because when you walk in to an Ace Hardware store, they got like 10 guys ready to answer every single question. A lot of times they're retired contractors and they've seen and done everything. They know the exact part you need. They know how to get it done, how to tell you how to do the job, and you get help, unlike those big box stores where you can't find anybody to help you. And when you do, you're not getting the quality answers you're looking for. So bring those people from the Ace Hardware home with you at acehardwarehomeservices.com and get ready for your next project. They bring experience. They bring plumbers and techs that handle everything from repairs to seasonal maintenance to installations and upgrades. And they bring understanding. They'll listen to what you're looking for and get the job done. Ace Hardware Home Services are local. Their teams live and serve their communities, and they're dedicated to keeping their neighbors comfortable in their home. So visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get you started on your next project.
Speaking of your wife and projects, you better hide those keys, because Ed Wright in chat was saying that you might come home one day and find Uncle Frank hanging out on your sofa.
I'm definitely hiding those keys far, far away from my...
Uncle Frank just wandering around your property with a metal detector looking for keys.
You see a metal detector guy?
He seems like he would be.
Yeah.
Him and the dog.
Yeah.
I've had the key in the same hiding spot for like a year plus, and how she doesn't know where I hide the key is just.
Have you guys thought about? Because I don't have it yet. All my friends have the keypads. Yeah.
I bought one a long time ago, and then I kind of got like bugged out by it.
About someone getting lucky with the key.
Yeah, I don't know, and just like being able to like override it with like tech I'm unaware of.
Yeah.
You know, like I love the idea of that.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't mobile bank, because I feel like it's just too easy.
You don't mobile bank?
You don't mobile
bank?
bank?
Wait, if you got to deposit a check, do you actually go to the bank?
Yeah.
What?
Whoa, I've never even done that.
I mean, I don't remember the last time I got a check, but I mean, it's direct deposit. I couldn't log into our checking account right now if you asked me to.
What?
No, I have no idea. She could be robbing me blind. Not that there's much to take.
Yeah. I mean, I would trust.
So years ago, I came up with this great idea, and I'm going to say it on air now, and everyone's going to take it.
Oh, you better trademark that.
The car fob. You know how you have a car fob?
Yeah.
You can unlock your car, lock your car. Why don't they make that for a house?
They probably do.
Like, how easy would it be just to have the fob? Okay, lock car. Or lock
every
house.
job I had basically had a fob.
Yeah, but like the actual,
I know.
Why would you want to do that? Because it's so easy to steal cars with these fake fobs.
Yeah, there's people that go around, they'll drive around neighborhoods.
Why do you want that in your house, dude?
They have
That's
a
why I never
program
made
that'll
it.
scan your car keys, and if it's within range, they can like unlock your.
They'll just
control
doing
of
that
your
with
house.
houses.
True. That is true.
So maybe a security reason. I don't know.
I'm out on that.
All right, let's get to the
big
breaking news.
Whoa.
This kind of derailed the rest of the show, I think, a little bit. We will get to VG's nugs and a little back in the day before we get out of here. But big news, the first person we saw to confirm it was our own Zach Berman.
It was,
and
yes.
then I just saw the PHLY WNBA handle put out the promo video. Philadelphia is getting a WNBA team in the year 2030. Now, I haven't been able to read up on all the details. I would imagine they're playing down at the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Yep, it's a Josh Harris team. He thanks his partners at Comcast. So, yep, it's going to be.
It was always going to be Josh Harris. Now, Wanda Sykes from media has been one of the driving proponents working with Josh Harris to bring a WNBA team to Philadelphia. And I will just say this. It was a travesty that a great basketball-rich city like Philadelphia was just neglected from the NBA, the WNBA, for 25 years.
Made no sense.
It made absolutely no sense. Long overdue. Long overdue. This is awesome.
Looks like they're expanding to Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly.
Oh, we're part of a massive expansion.
Cleveland 2028, Detroit 2029, and Philly 2030.
New teams.
I'm not going to complain about any of that. I'm just happy they're getting a team. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah, we got. Can we
we have a
play?
name?
Can
Do
we
we
play
have a
the
name?
trailer? I don't think we do yet.
We have a promo.
All right, let's play the promo.
We'll do the
Let's show
promo and then
people the
react.
Yeah.
All right, here's promo.
Oh, look at him.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Me.
What do you guys want to be when you grow up?
In the WNBA. Yeah.
If there's a team in Philly, would you go?
Yeah. Yes.
What does Philly mean to you?
It means home.
Early, the WNBA comes to Philadelphia.
I mean, it's just watching that, like, where are they just lobbing basketballs up in front of William Penn? Like, there's no courts anywhere near that.
Well, there's that one girl that's like, I think she's local that travels around with the hoop and does like community events where people will just like get shots up in Love Park.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clearly staged for the promo video, I would say. Very cool stuff. It's unfortunate we have to wait another 5 years to get it, but ultimately they're getting it. And look, if you're a troll, I don't even want to read the comments to this tweet. Like, nobody wants it. This league isn't for you. I will admit, do I watch the WNBA? Not really.
No,
do I follow it on SportsCenter and online? Yeah, a little bit.
Do you? I don't really.
I'll watch like the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark stuff. And
the rivalry?
Sophie Cunningham will catch my attention from
Oh,
time
yeah,
to
I
time.
was-
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
I don't watch it. I know Devon and Vince here at
Vince
the station.
loves it.
Yeah, they love it. I love basketball. And as the father of two little girls, I'm very excited for the opportunity to
Take them some games?
take them to some games, get them into it. Hopefully we get some baller here in Philadelphia that makes every girl in the greater Philadelphia area beam with pride. I think this is just an absolutely awesome thing that I'm looking forward to. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's about them. It's well overdue. And I mean, if anyone's going to have a basketball, a WNBA team, it should have been Philly from the get-go. Great community for it. Please, if we think about names, I don't want the Liberty Bells, BELLES.
Yeah, that would be lame.
Yeah,
that was the first thing that popped into my mind. No,
it can't be that. It can't be that.
Because like, isn't like New York? Aren't they the Liberty?
They're the Liberty.
So you can't use.
You could be the Philadelphia Bells.
Bells. Yeah.
BELLES.
No.
I'm out on that.
Yeah.
But it does feel like the most likely candidate.
Please don't. Yeah.
All right. So what else you got there, Hotshot? You coming up with a name? Let's see what you
I'm
got.
not giving my ideas out for free. They can call me out, guys.
Hit us
out of here.
Hit us with some names in the chat.
To do.
If you're creative in the chat and you got a good name for the Philadelphia WNBA expansion team, hit us with it. I'd love to read some of them.
Yeah.
My creative, I was at the beach a lot last week. A lot of beers, so my brain is extra dumb right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
So my creative juices aren't exactly flowing.
Yeah, I mean,
what else makes sense?
You've only had. It's hard to come up with a great idea in 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah. Wawa Peeling Onion says.
The what? The Wawa?
No, I think he's responding to somebody in the chat. Yeah. Wawa.
I don't know.
The team would be named Wawa.
Philadelphia Wawas?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Oh.
Somebody in the comments says, I hate watching basketball. To be honest, the squeaking of the shoes drives me insane.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
The Betsy Rosses?
The Betsy Rosses?
No.
Independence? Philadelphia Independence? I don't know.
I mean, actually, the Union is probably the best names because we're such a Union town.
Yeah,
it's
but
that's
already
name.
the
Yeah, I know.
team.
It's just that's a great one.
The Phillies, K-Red says with an F5. The Liberty Bells, yeah. The Philadelphia Wiz.
Ooh, I like the Wiz.
The Wiz is actually good.
The Wiz is good.
That is actually really good.
Nice work, Mickey Durkin. The Philly Wiz is good.
Yeah, Philly Wiz. So if you come up with a good WNBA name, let us know. What else? Philadelphia pork roll.
Just submit that one, actually.
Yeah, I think Wiz is a clear winner.
There's no other name. That is the name. That is great.
Wawa Marvel says
Nobody beats the Wiz. Nobody
Fresh Princesses. Fresh Princesses?
No. Nah, man, Wiz is the winner.
Yeah, I'm on Wiz train.
All right, let's get a little thumbs up on the YouTube page for the WNBA expansion team. That's very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Good work by Josh Harris and Wanda Sykes. And who knows, maybe Dawn Staley will take a retirement gig back home at that point. Are you eye rolling, Dawn?
No, because you hear the chatter
Knicks.
this weekend with the Knicks.
Apparently asked to interview her for their. Does nobody want to coach there? What's going on?
I don't know, but that just felt like treasonous to hear her even involved with the Knicks. Do not want her going anywhere. She should be president of the Philly Whiz. She should be president.
Dude, they might just like back the truck up and say, "Here, take president."
Yeah,
coach,
she should.
Whatever you want.
Keep her in town.
Dawn, it's all yours. She can get a nice house down the shore, retire.
Yes.
You know?
She'll rock it with the Adrians. Adrians.
So that's cool. We will fill you in the more and more we know, but games definitely at the Xfinity Mobile Arena.
Yeah, it'll be great, man.
Name TBD. Very cool stuff.
Yeah. Whiz mascot be hard to come up with, though. Just sounds good to me.
Cheese,
it could be just like a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
With like drippy whiz coming out.
Nah. That's too cliche.
I mean, you're naming them whiz. I mean, that's pretty cliche.
We're not naming them that. It's just the best comment so far on a team name. This is kind of hard.
It is. I really can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, it'll come to us.
Yeah. Someone. They pay people big money to come up with these names. Just giving them free names.
So 2030, a WNBA team will be in Philadelphia. Very cool stuff.
Feels like a long time to wait.
It does.
5 years?
I texted my family chain to my sister and mom.
5 years to get this together and
going? My sister's first question was, why are they waiting so long?
Yeah. Like, what is the problem? Like, why does it take 5 years?
It must be the WNBA balancing of schedule thing. Like, if one's every year, like.
I don't know. Just have all three come in 1 year. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There seems like they're overcomplicating that.
Wait, is there an odd number of teams now?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to do like expansion drafts, right?
Yeah.
So it would be
Probably
weird
more
to do
draft
3
related.
teams at once because that'd be so many
Somebody's
like
getting the
players
low
getting
end of the stick
pulled
every
around.
year.
Yeah.
So should we look up 2030 WNBA
Who's
early
projected?
draft reports?
Would that be the class of what?
2030. Let's see if that
30
even
is-
exists.
30 is-
2030 WNBA mock draft. Let's see who our hopes and dreams are.
So we're looking at like class of 27 high schoolers right now.
Yeah, I don't even think they're in college.
I'm sure they're ranked.
The AI overview says a 2030 WNBA mock draft is not available. Yeah, no kidding. Thank you, AI, for letting me know that. But there was that famous tweet of the guy that covered like high school sports in St. Louis, and he put out a Paige Brucker's tweet when she was in like 7th grade and was like, in the year 2025, everybody look out. This is the female Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to get that guy scouting for us now.
Yeah, I'm at rivals.com. They don't do women's basketball recruiting. Just, man, that's
Sexist.
weak. Yeah,
Sexist
that's
Rivals.
weak.
Come on. So who's going to become our WNBA insider? Is this Vince Pellegrini's
yes,
first
100%.
venture into on camera?
Yeah. It would have to be. It would have to be Vince.
Devon and Vince doing the WNBA show?
Yeah, he's probably at the bar right now celebrating.
We got another name, the Philadelphia Freedom. I mean, it's
not bad.
not
It's like
bad.
that existed in something.
It's the
Well, it's a
song.
Well, I think there was a tennis team. Was the tennis team the Philadelphia Freedom?
Maybe.
There was something.
Yeah, there's a tennis team?
Yeah, there was. Like Billie Jean King started that league,
Oh.
and they played at Villanova.
Huh.
And
I
it
am
was
not
like,
aware of that at
I think
all.
it was doubles, like a doubles
I didn't
tennis league.
even
I think they were the
know.
Philadelphia Freedom.
I remember the dodgeball team, the Benjamins,
Dodgeball?
the Philadelphia Benjamins.
What?
Yeah, there was like,
Dodgeball team.
you know, like ESPN 3 or whatever. They're like
The
years,
Ocho? ESPN Ocho?
or yeah, whatever. Years ago, there was a dodgeball league, and it
What?
was the Philadelphia Benjamins or something like that.
That's a horrible name.
Well, Ben Franklin.
I know.
Yeah, we get like who else? Is it going to be Ben Wilson of the Flyers? Come on, dude. Of course it's Ben Franklin.
Philadelphia Constitutions?
No.
Declarations?
Whiz rules.
The Wiz.
I'm in on the Wiz. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah.
He's a Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Right.
You get that guy as a mascot? That'd be awesome. Yeah, we're workshopping this. All right, stick with us.
getting better and better.
Yeah. The Philly Pulse. Mark Shark says.
Saw that. Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's all right.
It's better than anything I've come up with so far.
It's not the Wiz.
It's not the Whiz.
Nobody beats the Wiz. I am the
Exactly.
Wiz. Yeah, it'd be great. You could do a lot of promos off of that. Speaking of
Yeah,
promos, did you
yeah.
see the Yankee bobblehead giveaway?
No, who
that
they
they're
got?
giving out in a couple weeks?
Mm-mm.
They're doing Seinfeld night, and the bobblehead is Costanza sleeping under the desk.
What?
See if you can find a picture.
gonna
of it.
What
look
is
for that,
bobbling
yeah.
on that?
I think his head bobbles a little bit, and it's his desk is like the frame of the bobblehead, and he's lying under it. It looks pretty awesome.
It does?
Yeah, kind of. If you're a Seinfeld nut like myself. Somebody said, "Are the soul still a thing?"
No, you can't go soul. You can't do an arena football team name. That's disrespectful to the WNBA.
The Owl team, K-Red says. The Philadelphia Independents. Yeah, I don't know. We're trying. This is a tough exercise. All right, let's get to a couple of VG's nugs.
Oh, yeah, let's do some nugs. Let's do some fun ones.
We didn't even talk about the Phillies today. A lot happening.
I mean, they're in first place.
1.5 game lead. Before we get to the nugs, real quick. Ranger Suarez.
Ridiculous.
All right.
Of course, he's ridiculous.
Now, I know they can't financially do this easily, but Ranger this weekend talked at his locker and said, "This is my team.
Yes.
This is who I've been with since a teenager. I want to stay here."
Mm-hmm.
If money wasn't an object and you had to give an extension to the Lizard or Ranger, both have injury histories throughout their career. I don't think there's any doubt that Ranger Suarez is the better pitcher, but he's probably good for, roughly 150 innings a year at most.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you giving the extension to?
Lizard.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah, dude.
You're drunk.
I'm Ranger.
No.
Ranger.
Lizard's younger, got better stuff.
He's younger by like a year or two, isn't he?
Ranger seems like he's old.
Dude, I think Ranger's only 27 or something. He's just been here forever.
I don't know why he feels like he's like 32.
Yeah.
He's 29.
Yeah.
All right, what's a Lizard?
And the Lizard's going to be
26?
28 next year.
He is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still go Lizard.
Yeah, you're
He's got
crazy.
better stuff. I don't know. It's just the Ranger stuff, man.
He's so
That-
good.
When he's healthy, he's good. But he's not a guy with speed at all. So
But he doesn't need it. He
I
knows
know,
how,
but
he's
is
like
he-
Maddox. He figured out how to pitch.
yeah, is he going to have that forever?
I think so. It's just the injury you have to worry about.
Are you saying you're bringing him back?
I don't want to lose him. I'll tell you
bringing him
that.
back?
I've already accepted the fact that he's gone because he's earned big money, but I don't want to lose this guy. Like, if there was comparable Lizardo Ranger money and he gives you the slight hometown discount,
You
yeah,
keep him and trade Lizardo?
Well,
what are you doing? Because you got Painter's
we're
got
gonna
to be
get
here
more
next
into
year.
All right, so we're gonna get more into this tomorrow because
All right.
we ran long today. But I
All
think
right.
it's a really good roster construction conversation here because Lizardo and Ranger are both similar age. Ranger's more money, but Ranger is like showing up in the playoffs for you. He can go to the pen. He can be a Cy Young candidate at points. Like his last, real quick, since May 10th, Ranger Suarez, 7 innings, 0 earned. 7 innings, 3 earned. 6 2/3, 0 earned. 6 innings, 0 earned. 6 innings, 1 earned run. 7 innings, 2 earned runs. 7 innings, 0 earned runs. 7 innings, 1 earned run. 7 2/3 innings, 1 earned run. And again, yesterday, 7 innings, 1 earned run. That is the stat line of one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Well, let me tell you this. The best ERAs in baseball since May 1st. Third place, Paul Skeens, 1.57. Second place, Zach Wheeler, 1.5. First place, Ranger Suarez, 1.19. He's got the best ERA in baseball.
I mean, this is a
since May
homegrown,
1st.
developed kid. Like,
And he's so likable.
He's so likable. He's my sweet baby boy Ranger. I love
he's
this
like
dude.
he's like this team's like Chooch. You just love him. You want to hug him?
Yeah, like I'm growing so much more attached, and I was already like kind of obsessed.
Oh, what could you get from the trade deadline?
So
though?
like, we'll get into this tomorrow, but like, do you flip Lizardo? And I also have an over/under I said on Andrew Painter. Like, you have an embarrassment of riches in starting pitching.
And Abel?
That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, the Lizard King, I might see what he can fetch you on the open market.
Man, somewhere Anthony's fuming.
He's probably eating chicken parm somewhere, just like getting all angry at me. All right, let's get to VG's nugs. We'll save the
I have the
Phillies.
bobblehead, by the way.
Yeah, it bobbles right there on the pillow.
All right.
I love a good nap. Sometimes it's the only thing getting me through the get out of bed in the morning. How great of a giveaway is that?
His head looks like he's on Ozempic, though. It's a little thinned out. Right? He's got an Ozempic head.
Well, you got to fit it under the desk.
Because that's not the bulbous head that outstretches a sweater next. Like, they got to fatten that up a little bit.
That's a great giveaway.
Ozempic head.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to VG's nugs.
Yeah, we'll do some fun ones real quick. Well, Anthony's not here. We're missing that Italian spirit. So, I got a little jet action. Little
Luchenko?
No. Fecce, the Italian aerobatic team, doing some cool stuff in the air. Watch this, dude. Watch this.
I love the music.
Yeah, watch this. Watch it. He's gonna blow your mind. Wow! Boom! Where was that?
New Jersey.
That was Jersey?
Yeah, off the beach, New Jersey.
The only reason I asked is a real possibility.
How terrifying would that be if you had no idea they were doing it? You just see these jets coming at you.
Yeah, I was on the beach last week and like 2 fighter pilots flew overhead. It was like the loudest thing ever, and I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah, here it goes.
That's pretty cool, though.
The end times are here.
Yeah.
Speaking of cool, guy stuff, General Lee, the Dukes of Hazzard.
I saw
car.
a clip of this headline, but I didn't. It was a picture of Jessica Simpson on the General Lee, and I was
Somerset, Kentucky, decided to run a General Lee over a fountain.
The door full. Look at this dude behind her. Oh, look at this dude running. He's that's good. 40 Iron Man. Look at this. Big thumbs up. We're using the big thumbs up. You okay, guys? You okay? Everyone's cool? Yeah.
That's awesome. Where was that? Kentucky?
Yeah.
When I got that video, I thought it was Somerset here in Philadelphia.
Oh, no,
on Somerset Street. I'm like, where is that fountain?
Now, my dumb brain
Yeah.
wouldn't see the possibility of dying doing that.
Right.
I guess you very well could.
Yeah.
Oh, you nosedived?
But yeah, that looks
crushed.
pretty badass.
Yeah. Hopefully
Part of me says I want to try that.
You're like shaking.
harnessed in pretty well.
I would hope. That's pretty cool.
At you remember the old lovable LSU football coach?
Brian Kelly?
No. Ed
Oh, the swamp monster. Yeah.
he went to a wedding this weekend.
Oh, I bet he's got moves.
Oh, yeah.
Here it is.
Go Tigers and roll away.
Now, I don't know if you can have this music play.
Shirt off.
I don't know if you can play the music on it, but he rips his shirt off.
Yeah. I would love to see like a buddy travel show of him and Baldy. Doesn't he remind you of Baldy a little bit?
That would be great.
I'd love to see the Swamp Monster and Baldy, like a little buddy comedy, like travel show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go
dude.
diving with sharks and like go eat weird things and go up to the mountains and.
Crazy thing about Baldy, by the way. So Chris Long on his podcast, I saw
him shout out Baldy this
He talked
weekend.
about Baldy, but he talked about Baldy when he went to the SAC Summit in Vegas. I guess when he was getting there.
Running through the airport.
Running through the airport. Yeah.
And he was like, Baldy's such a warrior. He was just walking around Vegas like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the most Baldy thing I've ever heard.
Baldy, man.
Oh, Baldy.
And there's big news this weekend over someone who I think's got the nickname. It might be your favorite nickname of all time.
The Big Dumper?
Big Dumper.
The Big Dumper is on fire right now.
The Big Dumper is like an all-time.
Dude, he might be an MVP.
Yeah, all-time pace. Well, the Big Dumper is going to be in the home run derby.
Love it. What's he up to now? Like 33 or something?
I think it is 33. He's a switch hitter, too. He's a switch hitting catcher.
And if you don't know who we're talking about Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. He is at 32 home runs.
32 home runs. At the All-Star break.
He only has 84 hits. 32 of them are home runs.
And he's the Big Dumper, dude.
And he's got 69 RBIs for the Big Dumper.
Apparently, he's bottom heavy.
I was going to say, does he have a big dumper?
He's bottom heavy, so the teammates
cake?
call him the Big Dumper.
Yeah,
the wedding cake is coming out?
Yeah, he's caked up. But he's hitting home runs at an unreal rate right now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love to see the Big Dumper in the home run derby.
Yeah. So you want to go back in the day?
Everybody loves a big dumper in the home run derby.
Let's get a little thumbs up for the Big Dumper.
Big Dumper.
Hey, come on, hit that thumbs up button for the Big Dumper. As Peel and Onion says, thick Johns. Yeah. Yeah, let's get a little thumbs up
back
for
in the
big
day.
dumper. Yeah, let's go back in the day.
We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back. We're going back, 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 back in the day. All right, the Padres are in town. I don't know what the year of this, where we're going back to, but it's the greatest Padres moment in my life.
22.
2022?
Yeah.
Oh.
Philly going down to
God.
yellow and brown.
These are so
That's
lame.
what's in.
How do you do that?
Padres on the loose. Let's go, Goose. That's what's in.
So lame, dude.
Bryce gonna lose, and Manny's
So
gonna
white.
cruise. That's what's in. Give Philly no slack and send them back. That's what's in.
All right, real quick. We'll laugh at those idiots in a minute, but it's overtime.
Those dudes.
Dude, like, how do you do that?
How do you do that? And who are the guys just dancing in the background
Yeah, that's
thinking
what I'm
this
saying. Like,
sounds
if you asked
great?
me, you were like, hey, come film
I'm
a
like,
video with me.
Yeah,
And just
I mean,
hold this flag up and bop a
Jamie,
little
you sound
bit.
ridiculous.
I'd be like, get the hell out of my face with that. I am not doing that.
Yeah.
That series was over as soon as that thing came out.
Oh, yeah.
It was over. I thought you were about to play the upper deck moonshot. Was it Schwarber or Harper?
No.
It might have been. I think it was Schwarber. It might have been the furthest home run I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah? Further than a Ryan
See
Howard
if you can
one?
pull up this Schwarber San Diego home run somewhere. It's kind of a last minute request. Dude,
They're calling those guys zesty.
they are very zesty. Zesty boys. Yeah, that Schwarber bomb was just like, it might have been like the biggest home run I've ever
Man,
seen.
I envy you guys who can remember this stuff offhand. I don't
Yeah,
remember it at all.
you're zapping your brain
Fried,
too much.
that's-
Yeah. Speaking of the big piece, he was at the Devonta Smith charity softball game up in Allentown this week.
Oh, yeah.
Big piece was there. Now,
Ooh.
the home run contest, the performers that did well, Cooper DeJean did pretty well. I believe he had 5 or 6. He might have won it. Darius Slay did all right.
Wasn't I thought the home run defending champ was Isaiah Rogers. Did he win
Might
it
be
again?
right. I think he
might
had
have
4
won
or
it.
5. I think Cooper DeJean won with 6.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. I didn't take good notes on this. The big piece was there. You know who else was there? T.O.
Oh, I mean, I had a little. If we'd go
I was
over,
going to say this probably makes sense why he was in Philly because you saw him last week.
Yes, I did see him at the Good Dog bar last week. He was very friendly and having a good time. But there's a whole thing going on at this charity event about Debo.
Well, T.O. commented on it.
BG also commented.
Did he?
Yeah.
And now we get retired BG?
Yes,
Still on
I
the
think
team?
we got the BG comment.
Because T.O. said he's fat, and he
Oh,
said, I
yeah,
told
there's
Debo
a-
this.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
Let's go BG first.
All right.
Y'all about to say, we coming. You know we got Debo.
It's gonna be between
BG's
us
the
two.
best.
I wouldn't worry about him. He gotta be in shape first. He don't look like he in shape right now.
What?
Is that Isaiah Rogers? Who's that he's
I don't
talking
know who
to?
that was. They asked him about Debo, worried about Debo.
Dude, he looked
He's
like me running routes out there at OTAs for the Commanders.
T.O.'s a little more blunt.
T.O. just straight up roasted him. He's like, I'd say this to his face, too. I was like, damn, T.O. Can't all look like you, man. I love a fat athlete, though.
He gonna do his thing. Everybody keeps saying Debo fat. He is, man. He is. What you mean? He just big bone, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't no big bone. That's what you say when girls are fat. Hey, that's the term you use when you don't want to call a girl fat.
Oh,
you say they
God.
big bone. He about 2 chicken nuggets from being tipping the scale.
Oh, my. All right.
Hey, Debo, I love Debo. Hey, Debo, we had
He's like, I love Debo. I'd tell him this to his face. I'm like, I'm sure you would. but-
2 chicken nuggets from tipping the scale.
Awesome. Yeah, it looked like a good time up there in Allentown this weekend at the charity softball
they get a lot
game.
of people out there.
Yeah,
man.
they do get a lot of
I'm
people.
surprised they get a lot of like celebrities that go out to Allentown too
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
I was thinking though, like, is there really nothing local that they could play at?
I guess there isn't anymore. Since we used to have
I mean, the
River
Villanova
Sharks
Stadium
gone.
and Plymouth Meeting, I don't think has the capacity they're looking for.
No, there's no other.
The River Sharks should have just been kept as like a
Something.
utility baseball field for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't. What's
For
there? Now? I don't even know
Philadelphia
what's there
area.
now.
I think they knocked it down.
Yeah, I don't think there's.
I have the
any-
Schwarber bomb, by the way.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Dude,
here it
this this might be the biggest home run I've ever seen in my life. Oh,
I love it.
it's
I
bad.
love it.
It's the best.
Yeah.
So the Padres in town tonight. As we wrap up the show, VG, are we going to see the greatest showman, Mr. MV3. Does Bryce Harper return tonight, as Matt Gelb speculated?
Oh, if Gelb is saying
I think it was on Thursday or Friday, though. So it was several days ago. He said, took batting practice, no inflammation or swelling, felt pretty good. I believe the words he used was, there's a chance he returns on Monday at home versus the Padres.
I don't know. Something tells me he waits this series out. You think he comes back tonight?
His comments made it seem like he's going to be back.
I just feel like because they're surviving, they're in first place. Dude, can we talk about the Mets got swept by the Pirates and they were outscored 30-4. We're all flipping out worried about the Phillies bats. The Mets got outscored by the Pirates 30-4 in 3 games.
I know.
That's outrageous.
Phillies are on pace for I believe 94 wins right now, and everybody hates them.
Everybody hates them. Everywhere you go, everyone's complaining about them.
It's great.
It's wild.
All right, so we're going to have a lot to get into tomorrow. We have some Phillies stuff to talk about with that Luzardo Ranger stuff, plus Andrew Painter arrival date is getting closer. We're entering the month of July already. The worst week in sports is coming up for the MLB All-Star break. So we'll have a lot to get into tomorrow, including maybe NHL free agency starts today or tomorrow.
I hope we get the Shabanov notice tomorrow.
Shabanov?
Signing here. Yeah.
Is this guy got some dingle to his dangle?
Well, he averages a point a game in the KHL. I think he's 24. He's 5'8". You got to be a little hopefully he's a good skater.
You got to be fast if you're 5'8".
You would think putting up.
Get him some tall skates.
Like in the playoffs, I think he had 21 points in 20 playoff games. In the season, I think he had 64 points in 63 games. He seems like a player.
All right. So we'll see. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. right here. We got the Flyers. I see Bill and Brenna out there coming up at 12. And then we got the Eagles at 2. And then we got the Sixers at 3. This free agency week looms for them as well. WNBA team coming in 2030.
The Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Philadelphia Wiz. It's not bad. I think we can do better.
All right, let's try and come up with something for tomorrow.
Thank you to Andrew and Joey Marone, not Martone, behind the scenes for helping out today. Everybody have a great Monday out there, and we'll see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.